Mama, we made it. What it do though? Bang, bang, bang. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a motherfucking vibe right now. It's crazy when a guest comes in and literally asks for the vibe and curates the vibe, and we just make it happen with them. I wish y'all could be here in this moment with us. It's the first time we have most of the lights off in the crib.
Yeah.
Multiple candles popping off.
Yes, sir.
We got the squadron, the video elite squadron, just like thugging with us.
Yes, sir.
We got two shorties that came in for a visit, chilling on the couch, feeling welcomed.
Yes.
And we have Jaylien Wesley with us. Jaylien, how the fuck are you doing?
Jaylien Wesley in the building.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
I'm really happy that you're here tonight. It's actually been a pleasure to like know you in these past few months and be able to, talk with you. Also hear little bits of your story, which really intrigued me to want to have your story told on this platform.
Yeah.
And I feel like now is a beautiful time to do it. You've had an incredible career up to this point, and it's only a continuation of your becoming and growing as a human being and as an artist.
It's lit. And
I'm very thankful and honored that we get to share this story on this platform.
Yeah, man. I'm honored to be here.
It's love.
Yeah, man.
I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you guys.
So let's start off early, because for someone as creative as yourself, I truly feel like there's so much that you've had to live, right? There's so much that you've gone through in life, just hearing it in your music. Let's take it back to the earlier days. Like, what was growing up like for you? Where was that? What was the vibe like?
Growing up is starts in Columbia, Missouri. If you guys know, like the Mizzou Tigers. Like my mom was a Mizzou Tiger.
My dad was a Mizzou Tiger.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Mizzou Tigers in the building, though.
Yeah.
Beast.
Yeah, man. So like I was born in Columbia, Missouri. It's like 2 hours outside of St. Louis.
Yeah, we don't like Nebraska.
Yeah, man. And it was just music from the time I got out the womb.
Really?
Yeah.
Straight out the gates.
Yeah. Because my mom was in the choir at Mizzou. And my dad was the choir director.
Wow.
And that's how they met. They met in college. And then my dad, he got kicked out of Mizzou for bad grades. So he had to go to like the junior college across the street from Mizzou. I think he went to Columbia College, and but they got married in college and then had me, and then
wow.
Yeah, so
young love.
Yeah. So out the womb, it's just been like music.
So describe that young Jay like in this musical atmosphere.
Young Jay is like listening to Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and BB and CeCe Winans and going to songwriting competitions with my mom, and going to like weddings with my mom and my dad, going to funerals, going to wherever that my mom and dad could sing. They were like a singing duo situation. Wow. They were writing their own songs and producing their own songs and like and just like singing and going everywhere. So it was just like that was just my life as a kid, just traveling with them and like watching them sing and make people happy. And my dad was like a crazy pianist, and so yeah, he was just like the world's greatest piano player, and everybody would just be like, "Oh my God, you're so incredible!" And so I had to like, I had to like sit in their glory and shit, and like, I was just fascinated by it all because music is just like it's like in my blood, you know what I'm saying? So I guess
like
that's
literally,
yeah. So that's like all I know. So like, it was just like normal life to me. It wasn't.
When did you start? Whether it was like picking up the instruments or start like singing with a little mic.
Well, my mom and my dad had a studio in the house, and so like, and we were not allowed to touch the stuff. Like they were like, you know what I'm saying? Like we were not allowed. So like, when they would be at work and stuff like that, I would like mess around on the keyboard and stuff. And then, I think one day I like left it on or something, and my mom was like, "Who was down there touching the keyboard. Like somebody left it on, blah, blah, blah. I was like, and I tried to lie, but I couldn't lie because I left it on.
Yeah.
And
how old were you at this time?
I think I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. And then she was like, wait a minute, who made this song? Right? Wow. And then I was like, oh, that was me. I'm sorry, Mom. She was like, no, it's good. She's like, wow. She's like, yo, you can play on this whenever you want. Let me teach you what, because you like are missing some stuff. So let me teach you like, you know, how to use it properly. Excuse me. And so from then on, it was just like I could use like the studio and stuff in the basement. So yeah, that was like at 8. That's like 7, 8 years old.
Wow.
And were you singing or just playing?
No, I was just playing.
Oh, just playing.
I didn't start singing till like 2 years, 3, 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Right, we'll get there then.
Yeah.
Hold up. We got a ways to go.
It's lit.
So you literally had the keys to the kingdom at that point.
I had the keys, like DJ Khaled.
So when you were getting on the keys, you got the keys. Did you were you just self-taught, or did you take lessons, or did you just
Nah, I played by ear. Like I would just start playing. I would just listen to stuff and then just start playing. Like I never had a piano lesson in my life. I can't read notes.
Really?
So like, yeah. So
coming
like,
from two musicians, were they the same or?
My dad can't read notes either. He plays by ear. My mom is like trained and like did school and all that stuff. Like she's like real like to the books. So
got it.
Yeah, I think I got it from my dad because he don't.
Was it something that naturally flowed, or was it like a conscious decision to not?
I just like music a lot, and it was equipment around the house, and I was just like that little intrigued kid that was like, what does this do? You know what I'm saying? So like when they would leave and stuff or be asleep, I would mess with the music stuff. So it was just something like, I just did it for fun though. I didn't like as a kid, I want to be the world's greatest producer. I wanted to be a basketball player. So like music was just like something I did on the side. Yeah, I was playing basketball. Like I started like at age 7 too. So
heavy.
Yeah.
So what was school like?
School was cool. I made good grades like A's and B's and stuff like that, but it was boring to me. I always wanted to like go home and like make music and like go home and play basketball and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was my life. Music,
absolutely.
Music and basketball. So
when did it really start becoming a nuisance for you?
A what?
A nuisance.
What, school?
Yeah.
Was
it on the onset, or was it kind of like?
Nah, school was cool. Like I liked it until like I got older, like in my high school years, and I was just like, man, I honestly know I'm going to the NBA. I don't know why I need to be in school right now.
Really? So you were that serious about
I was
ball.
so serious. I was doing like summer camps, winter camps, summer leagues, going to Michael Jordan camps.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I was like,
it was that serious.
Man, I got trophies. I was doing YMCA leagues. I was like basketball was like my thing. And then I realized I wasn't growing no more, so I had to switch up.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was that where it like hit you like that?
Probably like my junior year in high school, and my coach cut me because he already had his point guard picked out already. Like a lot of the team didn't have to try out because he already knew who he wanted. So like I was on JV freshman sophomore year, but I wasn't one of the favorites because he had somebody like he bust in from like a city that he wanted to like be the point guard. So I wasn't like the guy. So once I didn't make the team, and everybody was like, how did Jay not make the team? Like what? Like, It kind of like pissed me off, and I was like, man, whatever. I ain't growing no more anyway. So then I switched my focus to track and field, and I did that too all 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was a long jumper and a triple jumper.
Likewise, man.
Yeah, those were my joints.
That's insane. We had Mizzou dads and fucking track stars over here.
Yeah, man.
Long jump, triple jump. See, I got put in it because I just was not that fast. And
Oh, word.
It was, track was one of those things that was like in between sports.
Yeah.
For me, but I mean, I just wasn't that fast. I was fast in like when I was in middle school, but not compared to these high school kids. They're like,
yeah, these dudes fast.
Like, you're tall. Why don't you go do long jump, triple jump? I wasn't that good either.
I was the shortest guy always, but I would jump the farthest.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I could dunk too.
I was the chubbiest guy always, and I jumped not the highest. I have like a fucking 3-inch vertical, dog.
Oh, that's fresh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That gets you far in life.
Well, shit, we're here.
What was it like? What was Missouri at the time like? This is all in Columbia?
Well, I moved to St. Louis.
Okay.
So I lived in Columbia from birth to like 5 years old, and then I moved to Jacksonville, Mississippi. My
Really?
dad went to music college out there, so he could be like get his like master's in music or something like that. And so he moved us to Jackson, Mississippi, and then we lived in Jackson, Mississippi for 3 years. And so yeah.
What was that like?
Jackson, Mississippi was country as hell, man.
Going from like Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, no, it was because Columbia is like a small college town.
Yeah.
Jackson, Mississippi is like it's a rather large city, but it's country as hell, and it's just like, you know, it's hotter there, and the way of life is different down there. So like, you know, and then we went to a huge church down there, and my dad was like in the minister of music at that church. So it was just like going to church every Sunday was like an event, and like, you know, it was just different because like, you know, like Columbia is real like white collar, just like, you know, it's like real chill, and then Mississippi is like, you know, cash me outside. How about that? It's like, you know what I'm saying? So,
yo, how about that?
Yeah, so that's Jacksonville, Mississippi. So like, it's just kind of different for me anyway. I was older than my sister. My sister turned real country down there. She's like 2.5 years younger than me. But yeah, so I was there till I was 8. My dad died. We were in Mississippi, and then when my dad died, we moved back to Columbia.
What happened?
Man, I don't want to get too deep into that, but
okay. How was that for you?
Man, when my dad died, I didn't know. I was 8, right? So like, I was just used to having him all the time, and I don't know how you tell an 8-year-old, oh, he's not coming back. You know what I'm saying? So like, having him there every day, and like taking me to school every morning, and us going to Krispy Kreme in the morning before school and stuff like that. And then like the next week he's hella skinny and in the hospital, and then the next week he's dead. It was hard. Like, I didn't talk for like a few months and stuff, like, cause I just didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's unfathomable what like that is, especially like for a kid that's so connected.
Yeah, I looked up to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know I had a mom. Like, that's how close me and my dad was, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, when he left, it was like, whoa. Like,
was it a complete surprise to you, or was there a little bit of like, son, something's wrong?
I just thought he was sick.
Got it.
You know, at 8 years old, I didn't understand all that other stuff. All I saw was like my dad. He was cool, and then he's in the hospital the next day. You know what I'm saying? And then like,
it felt very sudden.
Yeah, it felt real sudden. Wow. And then like a couple weeks later, he was gone, and then I'm at his funeral. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what? You know, like, it was just real. I didn't know how to take it, and I didn't understand it, and then as a kid, you know, nobody wants to tell you like what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, you're too young to understand, and tell you when you grow up.
That's happened to a few people. On this podcast. Yeah. Quite a few have that same kind of thing, and I mean, when that young, it's like even as an adult, it's those things are tough, right? Because no one really knows how to manage emotions to something that they've never actually experienced. You know, maybe you could deal with breakups and things like that, but that's tough as a kid. Yeah. And before that happened, were you a pretty like outgoing kid, and was this something that changed that suddenly, or did it change your perspective on things, or how did that moment shape you coming out of it?
Well, my dad's funeral was my first funeral I ever went to, so it just made me realize, you know, we're not here forever, and it made me realize, you know, that I was a man of the house, because it was me, it's my mom, it was my sister.
Wow.
And so I just looked at life totally different. You know what I'm saying? I started looking at life like I was a protector. And I started looking at, you know, everything like, I got to do everything I can on this earth while I'm here, because I could be dead tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I was looking at life as like an 8-9-year-old. It was like, wow.
That's insanely deep for that age.
Yeah. And I was like real big like in the art and drawing and stuff like that. So after my dad died, I was just like drawing crazy. I think I just went dark. Like, my teachers like called my mom one day. It was like,
really?
There's something wrong with, my real name's John. Is there something wrong with John? Like, he's drawing these dark photos, these very graphic photos, and it was just like, I was just like, everything had blood and guts and people like heads getting chopped off. I don't know what I was going through. It was just like, I didn't know how to channel what I was mentally thinking, so I would just draw like stuff all the time. Yeah, so
that was freedom.
Yeah.
Or drawing. Release.
Drawing was definitely a release. Yeah, I used to draw all the time.
Yeah, it's weird how something like that can also change your identity. You know, going from like a kid who has parents to a kid who now like has something traumatic happen.
Yeah,
and we've heard that from a few different people, and how that can be so sudden. Like, you know, aside from you just dealing with like the sadness and the shock and all those emotions, it's also like going to school is different. You know, the way people look at you is a little bit different. The way you look at yourself is like, it's hard to kind of separate the actual event with how you experience that event and what you take from it. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things where most people, when something traumatic happens, you tend to be like, okay, well, I'm this person now because of it, and kind of carry. It's not uncommon to kind of carry that identity with you as it shapes like who you are,
especially in those younger years. How was your relationship with your mother and sister after that point? I mean, becoming the protector. What was that like? Did you start noticing a significant dynamic shift, or how was?
That just helped me get when my dad died, it helped me get like a great appreciation for women. Because I had like two beautiful women that I had to live with, you know what I'm saying? And we had to all cope together and like figure out how to emotionally just make it past where we were and get stronger. And it brought us closer. And it's like, that was hard for all of us, man. That was a dark moment. That was like a hard moment. And but you know, with time heals everything, and then we got closer, and then like I really got into music then because I just wanted to be like my dad. My dad played the clarinet and the piano, and I started playing the clarinet like the year after he died, and I just started taking music a little bit more serious and just, you know, doing whatever my mom asked. You know, I didn't give her a hard time. I wasn't a bad kid anyway, but I really was like, okay, Mom, whatever you need, I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, and for my little sister, I stopped like bullying her and stuff. You know how big brothers be like giving your sister a hard time? I used to like choke my sister out and stuff like that.
But I mean, like young little 6 or 7 year old John isn't thinking about it like I'm literally like stone cold stunning you. You know what I mean? It's just like it's kids play, it's child's play.
Yeah.
So wow, this is incredible because it's so wild to me to think of how moments in our lives like really like changed the course of things. Like the death of your father, and this man was like an idol to you. You wanted to be just like he seems as though he was the model father, right?
Yeah.
And being raised in a family that had such a deep root in music, and the church, if you will, to see this love of music blossom out of your surroundings. And you kind of knew at that like point where you turned the keyboard on and were starting to do something, and then it went from being something that was considered devious, if you will, or just like fooling around, to something that was kind of nurtured in that moment. And then the loss really fuels that, and like to see the dichotomy of like ball is life and then music, ball is life and then music, and then it wasn't ball anymore, but it was athletics and then music. Mm-hmm. What was the point that it was like literally, you know what, it's music?
That was high school, my senior year in high school. You know, you got to figure out your life after, like, you know, your senior year, everybody's like doing their school commitments and like taking their ACT test and their SAT test and like trying to figure out where they about to go, and, you know, like starting to choose a career and all that. And I had accepted the fact that I wasn't going to the NBA and I wasn't going to be 6'6" like Michael Jordan. So I accepted the fact that I didn't want to run track in high school, even though I had like track scholarships.
Oh wow! Run track in college.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Wow.
I was just like, okay, I'm 5'6", 5'7", whatever, and these dudes that I'm jumping against like at state are like 6'3", 6'4", and I can get with them, but in college they're gonna get better, and I feel like with my height, I probably reached my max. Like I was just like, I don't want to do nothing unless I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah.
So I was just like, if I can't go to college and kill these dudes, and then I was like, okay, so I go to college on a 4-year scholarship for track. What I'm gonna do after that? Like I'm not going to the Olympics for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, nah, I got to figure something else out. So I was just really caught between like being like I wanted to go to CAD school and like do computer auto design and stuff like that.
Wow.
I wanted to design cars. Or
Did
design.
that come from like your drawing?
Yeah, from drawing. Yeah, because I like drawing, and I used to just draw sneakers all the time. I used to like make my own Jordans and like submit them to like Nike.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, so drawing was also a huge part of that.
Yeah,
too.
Drawing. Yeah,
Wow.
I drew a lot, and I was just like trying to debate like if do I want to do like art, or do I want to do like interior design, like work for like Chrysler or something, or do I want to like work for like Nike and go move to Portland, or like do I want to do music? That doesn't seem realistic. But then then I had a couple friends that were starting to do good like around the city in music, and then my senior year I started selling music to like different rappers around the city.
Wow.
Like $500 and like
Wait, you were making beats?
Yeah, for beats, but it was just like a side thing. I wasn't taking it serious.
Yeah,
because like one of my thug homies, I was like the nerdiest dude out like the squad, and like, one of my one of the dudes that wasn't gonna graduate on time. He was like, man, I need some beats, man. Like, man, my homie Lil Lunch Meat, man, he locked up, man. I need some beats. And then I was like, man, I make beats. He was like, man, Jay, you don't make no beats. You don't make no beats. I was like, nah, straight up, I make beats. I was like, I got beats at my mom's house. Like come to the house. And then none of them believe me. So then I finally talked to them into coming to my mom's house, and then they heard my beats. They was like, dang, like you been holding out. So like, yeah, they bought beats from me, and then they referred me to their homies, like dudes that wasn't in school, stuff like that.
So you got inducted into like the street dreams craft. the street dudes wanted to be rappers.
Yeah,
they had bread to pay you.
They had bread.
Cause you think about it back then, and then even now, cats are like, "Yo, dog, can I get this on layaway?" Right. But you got the cats in the streets that they got the bread to be able to pay for it. They're like, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, $500 as a high school kid is like $5 million.
Yeah, I was bowling.
Yeah, that $500 like
he had his own publishing company back there.
Yeah, that's a ton of money.
Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, like I was so my senior year, I just started selling beats to people around the city, and then I really made a decision when like my second semester, my senior year. I found out me and my girlfriend at the time, we were together for like 2 years anyway, but I found out she was pregnant.
Wow.
So then I was like, oh man.
High school.
Yeah. So then I was like, I got a
what
little
what was going through your head?
How am I going to tell my mama?
Mama.
Yeah. That was crazy. So yeah, my main concern was, okay, how am I gonna tell my mom? Because my mom thinks I'm a virgin.
It's 0 to 100.
Yeah, and like I grew up in an all Christian house.
Yeah,
like nobody has a child out of wedlock.
Yeah, you grew up in God's home.
Yeah, man. So I was like, oh man, this went bad. So I had to figure out how I was gonna tell my mama, and then when I finally told my mom, well, I didn't even get the chance to tell my mom. My daughter's mom told my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a crazy story. So I was so scared to tell my mom because I didn't know how she was gonna take it, because I knew she thought I was a virgin. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just tell her, I'm gonna just bring my girl Paige to the house, just show her the stomach, and she's just gonna have to take it. I was just trying to figure it out.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
just fucking cannonball into the cold pool.
Like there's nothing we can do now. I wanted to tell you, but I figured it'd be better if I showed you.
Yeah, right. Right. So I was like, damn, I'm gonna just bring it when she starts showing. And then I was like, nah, that ain't smart. And And then like, I don't know, I was just hesitating. And then my daughter's mom's mom was like, so has John told his mom yet? And she was like, nah. She's like, well, what's he waiting on? She was like, he's just waiting on the right time. And she was like, mom was like,
she didn't see it the way you did.
Nah.
She was like, oh, this motherfucker just gonna hold out.
Right. They need to know. Yo. So like, she's like, well, I think now's the time. So then she's like, call his mom and tell her.
Oh, wow.
And then she made her call my mom with her on the phone so she can know.
God.
Oh. So I'm at school. I had no idea. I think I was like at track practice or something like that.
Wow.
So my mom patiently waited till I got home.
Oh, God. Bro, I literally can see this happening.
Yeah.
Like you not having a damn clue rolling up to the crib.
Yeah, that was a sad day.
What happened?
So I drive home. I get out the car. My mom's home early too. I was like, oh, mom's home. You know? And so like, so I walk in the house. I was like, Mom, what's up? You home early? She's like, yeah, they let me off. And then she was like, come upstairs real quick. I was like, all right, cool. I go upstairs.
Still have no clue.
I have no clue.
I just like imagine the suspense of this, folks. Like, please, like, be with us in this moment because myself and Joe are literally right behind Jaylien in these stairs. Young John in these stairs.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm going up the stairs, and then she's behind me, and she's just real quiet. I'm like, and I ain't thinking nothing of it for real. So then like I get to my room, and she literally I just hear fast little footsteps. Like she's like 5'1", so her like run. Then I get pushed. And then I'm like, whoa, what's up with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then she's like, you're having sex?
I love that came before you're having a baby.
Yo.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. She's like, you're having sex? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I'll never forget that. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I told you to use protection if you were having sex. I told you to use protection. Now you got that girl pregnant. I was like, what are you talking about?
What girl? I'm not having sex.
And then she just took all her anger out of me. She just hit me till she got tired. And I started crying. I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. And then she was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You don't have any money, blah, blah, blah. Like, she was going in on me, and I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. I have no idea. And she literally hated me because she didn't like my daughter's mom. She was like, I don't like her. She got an attitude. Like, she's crazy. She's like, you know, if you're going to do something with her, make sure you wear protection. I was like, Mom, I'm not having sex. I'm waiting until I get married. What you talking about? So, yeah, she was not happy. And then I think I left my mom's house for like a few months and lived with my cousin because I just couldn't take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're still in high school.
Yeah, I was still in high school my senior year. So I moved with my cousin for like 2 months. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just because my stepdad, he was like, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're gonna have 3 more kids before you're 21.
Oh wow, he went that route on you.
You ruined your life. Blah 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 blah.
Wow.
You might as well drop out of high school and get your GED and blah blah blah. So I was like,
God.
Damn. So I didn't like hearing that. You know what I'm saying? And like, me and my stepdad always had like a rocky relationship anyway.
Okay.
So like, you know, it was like I was like, I don't want to hear that. And then my mom disappointed. I was like, man, I'm getting out of here. So
what was it like? Did you when you left? Did you and your mom just not speak? Or how was that like? Because it had to be hard. But then like I feel like looking back, you start to realize like, damn, like they're just scared for you.
Yeah. Like you don't want your child
still in high school having a kid.
Yeah, that's
too young for that.
That's not the move.
Yeah.
So I understood it.
Yeah.
I was mad at myself. So I wasn't mad at them. I was mad at myself, and I was ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like as a son, and as like a Christian, and as like all that. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, I messed up. You know? And so it took some time for my mom to like cool down, and for like my stepdad to like cool down, and then once they all accepted the fact that I was having a child and she was keeping it, it was just like, like you're still my son. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And like the last couple months of high school, I moved back home, and I just had to figure my life out and just like, what am I going to do? And then the only thing that I loved at that time was music. Like the only thing that I could see, like taking me to levels to where my daughter didn't have to worry was music. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, what can I do to like secure my family's future?
What was that like for you? Because there are kids out there, that, you know, whether they wanted to or not, most of them not during that age, have a child that young. Yeah. What was that like for you and your baby's mother at that time? Like, were you guys seeing eye to eye? Was it like, damn, in the middle of this pregnancy, we done, like, I can't even, like, okay, we're just going to have this, I'm going to figure it out. What was that relationship like for you, and how was that for you being that young and being at such a pivotal point? It's like after high school, it's like we starting life. Right. And then it becomes, holy shit, I'm starting life, but now, like, it's not my life, it's my daughter's life.
Right. It's weird because like nobody in my school really. I think we were like the first. Like, there were a couple, like, this is not to be racist, there were a couple white couples that had like babies and stuff like that. Like maybe a couple, right? But we were like the first like black couple to like have babies, and then like, and I was always like kind of lame in high school until like track season came around. Yeah. So like, and then like I guess us just walking around the hallways like as a couple with her being pregnant like kind of made us kind of like cool and shit. Like we in a weird way in my high school, like we was getting like weird attention and stuff like that, and people was like, oh my gosh, they're so cute, blah blah blah. And so like it was kind of that was like the first month, like
so
one of
the kind of warm.
Yeah, it was like a warm welcome and stuff. And then like literally like the following year, I felt like 10 of the homies, they all got their girls pregnant. Like it was weird. Wow. It's like we started like a trend in my high school or something like that. It was like
domino effect.
Yeah, and that's not a good trend, but
yeah,
it was hard too, because like, you know, people are judging you as you like two kids, like with a kid, and they're like judging you walking down the halls. Teachers are looking at you, shaking their head. Really? You know, like other students probably like, I heard like people whispering and stuff like that. So it was just like it was weird, but it was I don't know. It was just like I had to deal with it. It was like, this is my life at this point, so I gotta roll with it. And then to top it all off, my daughter's mom was 2 years younger than me, so she was a sophomore and I was a senior, and that just looked a little weird. So wild. Yeah, it was interesting, man. So
y'all were together for fucking 2 years, though, no?
We were together 2 years at that point. Yeah. So like when we went to prom,
young love.
When we went to prom, she was pregnant. She was showing. Wow. Yeah, and it was just interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
At that time, I decided to do music full time, and so me and my mom were looking for like schools and stuff. And I was talking to my daughter's mom about it, and she was like with it. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Go do your thing, and like, you know, I'll be here when you get back, and then when I get out of school, I'll move up there with you, and blah blah blah, wherever you go." And so it was like everybody on my side was good. Yeah. Everybody on my side was good, so I was rolling with it. And so I found a school in New York that I wanted to go to. It was like called SAE Institute, and yeah, man. I went there. I left like a month after graduation, after high school graduation, and me and my mom drove that fucking, I don't know how long it was, like 19 hours.
That's a long ass ride.
Yeah, we drove. You know what I'm saying? I met my aunt that I never knew I had, and I lived with her in Connecticut.
Wild.
Because it was free, so.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. And I kissed my daughter's mom goodbye, and like, you know, it's like that whole like thing, you know. So I'll be back, baby.
The straight movie farewell.
I'm gonna follow my dreams.
Yeah,
I got us.
Well, what's crazy is like when you think about doing music, something that's so competitive and hard, and like, yeah, you can be wildly successful at it. But that you didn't take the choice of doing something maybe more secure. And I think that's a pretty cool decision to chase your dreams, thinking about like how you want to provide and be the person for your daughter, versus taking what, like, I think,
and also seeing it from the standpoint of, this is the way that I'm going to be providing. It's not like, okay, we're gonna get lucky here and hopefully
because you could do like a more conventional route that might, you know, at that age, it's like, you know, it's harder to take a risk. You know, some people like who feel trapped at their jobs or maybe their conventional lifestyle or the 9 to 5, it's like with no commitments, it's still a risk to like leave that security to go chase your dream and become successful at it. at a young age, you had an actual real commitment.
Yeah.
But you still made that choice.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about maybe, doing something more conventional or going another route, or were you just like dead ass on music?
I never had a plan B because I felt like having a plan B was like planning to fail, and I didn't intend on failing. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go hard. Like obviously it sounds crazy when you tell your parents, yeah, I'm going to New York. I'm gonna pursue music, and they're like, what?
Well, yeah, it's like I have a kid. I'm gonna go be a rock star. Let's do this. It's like, well, that's a very challenging thing to do.
Yeah, very unconventional. My stepdad was like, no, you need to be a printer. Because he owns his own printing company.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing. Yeah. Working for me. I'm going to show you the way.
Yeah. I was like, nah, bro.
Chase these printer dreams.
So you had just a motivation beyond anything though at that point then.
Yeah, I mean, like anything I did as a child, I was always like the best one at it. Like with basketball or was it track? I was like broke the school records and stuff like that. So I was always like, whatever I do, I'm gonna be like the best at it. And so like as I was doing sports and stuff in high school, I was still doing music, and I felt like I was like the best producer even, and I didn't even try. I was just like, I'm the best producer in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling myself that I had that shit written out. I was big on Myspace at the time.
Wow.
And I had like 100,000 friends or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Wow.
That's very serious for MySpace.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I was lit. I was super lit. I had this moniker. It was like Jay West, the hottest producer under 21. So like I was just attract all this like
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attention to myself and like.
And this was during the heyday.
Yeah, this is
MySpace. Super influential for we've heard that too a lot on this podcast. Just the influence MySpace had. Man, if you were in someone's top 8.
Yeah. My top 8 was lit.
Or if you had a straight like one of your joints playing on like some Chickie's page or whatnot.
It's
like
crazy. That's how I found Miguel a long time ago.
Wow.
He was on a lot of girls. He had this song called Vixen that was on every girl's MySpace page. I'm like, who is this Miguel dude, man? Like,
For real.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But when you were on someone's page, it was like that was the ultimate marketing tool.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. I mean, MySpace was the place for music. It really was.
It really was, bro. And then Tom left.
Tom left. He got that guap though.
And we all left with him.
Yeah. He left with that bag.
It's crazy though, but because Tom left with that bag, and what he didn't realize, if he waited a couple years, like there was a couple hundred M's that were like leaving him as he was going.
He did.
Tom went right back to the whiteboard that he was looking back from. Just
that picture's legendary.
Yeah,
for real.
That photo's legendary.
Yeah. How was SAE for you as a creative? Because especially this is where it kind of gets interesting for me, is because you're a creator that was fully self-taught, right, and then made the decision to go to music school.
Right.
How was that for you? Did you feel like it was sharpening your tools, or at a certain point did it become a confine for your creativity?
Everything I do is vibes, man. So like music was always a vibe to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I made what I felt like I wanted to make. I always listened to the kind of music that I felt like listening to. So like there was never really no rules and like restrictions. So once I got to school, I was like, it was like, hello, this is the whole other side of music that you don't know about. Like, and these people like knew everything too. Like the first day of class, I'll never forget this. My teacher's like, can anybody tell me the difference between a condenser mic and a dynamic mic? And I was like, what? and then like 400 people like raised their hand, and I was the only one with my hand down. I was like, oh man, shit. I'm in for some shit. So like, it wasn't fun to me because it was like, it was so technical and so like I didn't want to know all that. I just wanted to make music. Like I didn't want to know like how to, like I had to learn how to use a tape machine, and that was fun. Like I had to like literally like they gave us a thing and on a roll of tape, and we had to like put a song together, and they had the song like all miscombobulated, and we had to like cut it up and put it back together and make it like in sync and in time.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like I had to learn how to do that.
That's straight surgery,
bro. Yeah. But it's like that's how they did in the old days. So they wanted us to learn like all the way from the tape machines to like now. And then they taught us like Logic and Pro Tools, and they taught us Reason.
They wanted
like,
to make you guys appreciate where it came from.
Yeah. And it made you like, because I was in the audio engineering program, so it made you a qualified, like a certified like recording engineer.
Got it.
So, you know, but once I found out that it was more than, I thought I was going to go there and like just make beats all day and like use the studio for free and stuff like that. Once I figured out it was more than that, then I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to finish this. You know what I'm saying? But in the tuition, we got a free MacBook. So every day I was waiting for my MacBook. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on the PC still, and I wanted to get that MacBook. And they purposely waited like 3 months to give us our MacBooks to see who was going to stay in the program. Literally, when that third month came in, probably half the class had left. Wasn't even attending no more. Wow. And I think they knew that was going to happen. So they like kind of like keep your money and keep the Mac and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I'm glad I waited.
Yeah.
You're over here just like, give me the MacBook.
Yeah.
I can't wait till y'all give it to me.
Yeah, right. So, but meanwhile, I was internet hustling when I was out there. I started hitting people up on MySpace, and just like I would like I was like the king of the credits. So like I would buy CDs, and I would like look through the booklet, man. I would look at the A&R coordinator, the attorney, the manager, the PR. I would look at everything. I would fucking Google and MapQuest. I don't know if people remember MapQuest.
Hell yeah.
I would like MapQuest the directions to all the studios in New York that people would record at, like Platinum Sound, Baseline, where like Kanye and all them would record at. I would just go sit outside these studios and see if I saw anybody important. Oh, wow. Or if I saw anybody like pull up in a Benz or like a Bentley or something like that. It's just like pass out like beat CDs. So I would be in school like hustling, and then I'd be on the internet hustling in school, and then after school I'd be like at different studios that I saw like on the back of albums.
Wild.
And I would just like pass out beat CDs to people with my phone number on there, and just try to like get my name out there. And then I started reaching out to people. Like I was just curious. I was like, okay, let me see if any of these people in these credits have like a MySpace page. And like lo and behold, like all these A&Rs had like MySpace pages, and I would just like reach out to them and like write them on MySpace.
And you were already popping on MySpace.
Yeah, I was popping, so they would see my page and they would write me back.
Like, wait, who the fuck is this?
Right. So they all would write back. And then they'd be like, yo, send me some music. And then I would get some meetings, and I started like going up in the labels at like 18 years old. Just like going to Atlantic Records, going to Sony Records, going to Universal. And, having meetings.
This all in New York?
It was all in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was having meetings with people. And granted, nothing really amounted from that, but I did gain some relationships because my music wasn't up to par like I thought it was. And so then I was like, okay, there's a reason why they're not calling me back. Maybe I'm not as dope as I think I am. So then I was like, I need to like intern for somebody, or like get inside like some studios where some real producers that are like really doing it. So I would just reach out to people, and then through MySpace at the time, one of my biggest idols was Ryan Leslie, and he had like this huge like YouTube following, and he would like record himself making beats from scratch, making songs from scratch. He was like somebody I looked up to who could write, produce, sing, rap, engineer himself.
And he really utilized the digital growth and the digital age. He was one of the first. Like he was out there really putting it out there.
Yeah, he killed it. So I reached out to him, his homie, his best friend, his assistant. I reached out to all of them. I was like, yo, man, I'm the hottest producer in New York. I was just like, man, y'all need to get me in the studio with Ryan Leslie. And then so like literally like his assistant hit me back and was like, yeah, Ryan wants to take a meeting with you. So I was like, all right, cool. So I met with Ryan, and he let me sit in on some sessions, and I kind of like learned from there.
Seems like he seems like the type of dude that would like that tenacity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact he's like, damn, you hit 7 people on my squad? Like, okay, let me sit down with this cat.
Let me sit down just so he stops hitting me up.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to stop.
Yeah.
Because I know how much he used the internet. So I was like, bro, I'm going to hit you all the time.
I'm going to hit you from every angle in this internet.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was cool, man. And unfortunately, that situation didn't work out because I had an ego. And I was like, yo, man, I ain't trying to sit up here and like just watch it. I want to make beats. I want to like, that was around when like the Cassie album was being made. Like the Me and You album and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I want to make beats. Man, I got beats. I want to make beats. I ain't trying to like sit here and watch you and like do errands and stuff like that. Like, he didn't like my tone and he didn't like all that. So he was like, yeah, man, I don't think this is a situation for you.
Wow.
So I was like, oh man. So I got let down. So then,
But is it that you can look back now and be like, because like you were quick to say your ego, which is a very like vulnerable thing to say, and it's a lot like it's a very delicate balance between hunger and ego.
Yeah, I mean, I was hungry, but I had an ego too. I knew I was good, but I thought I was better than what I was, I didn't realize how not good I was until like I started. So after Ryan, I started dealing with this company called Dangerous LLC. And they were producers based out of New York. And they did like Window Shopper for 50 Cent and Disco Inferno for 50 Cent. And they were managed by Shaw Money.
Wow.
Who was like the president of G Unit.
Yeah.
So they were doing like all like game stuff and stuff like that. So
they had some monster records, bro.
Yeah, they had some crazy big records. They did Car Wash for like Christina Aguilera. So I reached out to them on MySpace too, and they hit me back and they're just like, yo, you dope, man. Like come through the studio. So I was like, cool. So once I got around, it was like a camp of like 6 producers, and they were all like next level, like fucking Just Blaze level like type producers, and I was like, God damn, I suck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what was that moment like for you? Like stepping in there with your ego and being like, yo, I'm the hottest dude, and then immediately be like, oh shit.
I immediately was humbled, and I was like,
was it like that quick?
Yeah, yeah. As soon as I heard their music and I compared it to mine, I was like, mine don't sound like that. It's like. I was like, I need
especially for somebody that wants to be the best always, but that like if you want to be the best, you got to know.
You got to know how to be a student.
What did that feel like to you?
It felt like my world crashed down on me, and I just had to do some self realization. But I was happy too, because I was like, I'm in a situation where I get to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Because you lost it once.
Yeah.
See, because that could have also gone the other way, where it could have like deterred you. Be like, oh man, I thought I was dope. How am I ever gonna get there?
Like this again?
Yeah, right.
So what in this instance? What kind of was that motivator to kind of keep you in it and get past that?
Well, I just always played with the fact that I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and everybody I know that was doing music was still back home in St. Louis, and I was in New York. Awesome. And I was like, since I'm here for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, and then I was in the studio with people who had like hit records on the charts that were like #1 at the time. So I was like, I'm not here by mistake. I'm here by design. So I gotta take this moment and capitalize and learn from it and like just bask in it and see where it takes me. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope to be there. And then like it was just inspiration every day. Yeah, I got inspired so much that I kind of stopped going to school. I would just go to the studio every day.
Wow.
Then I kind of like failed and shit, but
you don't say.
Yeah. So I would just go to the studio every day. I wasn't excited about school anymore. I was excited to go to the studio.
You had your MacBook. You were good.
I had my MacBook. I was good. I was like
3 months. You're good.
Yep. Yeah, man. I had my little Sony headphones. I had my MacBook. I was super good. So I would go to the studio every day and just like, you know, we had a studio in the Film Center. I don't know if anybody knows that place in New York, but it's on like on 9th Avenue in Manhattan, and there's like hella legendary studios in there. Mini Mafia used to work out of there.
Wow.
That's how I met Bruce, and then Fabulous had a studio in there. This guy named Jeremy, I can't remember his name, but he did like all the Jay Sean music.
Jeremy Scholar, bro.
That's his last name?
Jay Remy was good, baby.
Yeah.
Janina was good.
I met him back in them days.
Wow.
His studio was right across from
Orange
Mars.
Factory music.
Orange Factory, yeah.
Yep.
So his studio was...
That's a big bro of mine. G.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the homie.
That's insane.
That's the homie. He gave me, he let me like sit under him and just listen to him.
And he's that guy though. He'll like whip that ass into shape, but he's that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Jay Remy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jay Remy.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So like
they're doing like the Janoskians and shit now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. I feel you.
Yeah. So I'm a kid, you know, I'm like 18, 19 years old at these studios. So I'm like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? Like I see Mini Mafia doing their thing and Jay Remy doing his thing. And then the people I'm with, Dangerous LLC, doing their thing. They had an artist signed at Atlantic named Demi. And so I was just around that all the time, and Fabulous in and out the studio. You know what I'm saying? And like just seeing like these different people, 50 Cent and like, you know, Lloyd Banks, like these dudes are huge at this time.
Humongous.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like
it was that era.
I was like, man, this is crazy. So that was just my motivating force every day. Just like I need to get on this level to where like they're like rapping on my beats. You know what I'm saying? And, but every day I was like listening to Kanye. So like my beats didn't really go with their beats, but like I was just like a student anyway, so I had to like transform I had like switch my production style to like their production style, which was like real heavy, like hardcore hip hop stuff. And then I did that for a while, and then eventually I just stopped going to school and I was just doing that. And I don't know,
How long was that?
I was in New York for like almost 2 years. I used to be a wanderer, man. I used to wander around the city all the time and just like keep like 50 beat CDs in my backpack and just like pass them out and wait like outside of studios. So one time I was outside of Sony Studios, and I got in, and they said they thought I was Bow Wow. I had braids. He's like, "Welcome back, Shad." And I was like,
"Yeah, well, thank you."
Cool. That's what's up. I'll take that.
Fucking incredible, dog.
Yeah.
You nodded your head and walked straight in. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I used that before. I got some free shoes. It's a Champ Sports in Times Square, and so like the girl at Champs, I walked in Champs, and the girl's like, "Oh my God, are you Bow Wow?" And I was like, Yeah, I'm waiting on Jermaine. I was like, yeah, I'm waiting on Jermaine right now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You sold it completely.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, I gotta tell my boss, we can give you some free stuff. Like, if you just like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. She's like, what size shoe are you? So I walked out of there with like 2 fresh pair of Air Force Ones. You know, I'm from St. Louis, so I had to get the Air Force Ones. So I used it before. So like when the dude said that, I was like, cool, yeah. I walked straight in the studio. He was signed to Columbia, which is a division of Sony. So I just walked, I guess he recorded there sometime. So I walked in, I was just like wandering through the hallways, and it was like, this studio ain't even open no more. They shut it down. I think they turned it into like condos or something, but it's like a legendary studio. And it's like plaques all over the wall from like all these different albums, from like Michael Jackson, like Diana Ross and all these people, to like current stuff at the time, like Mary J. Blige and like Alicia Keys and like all these people who was like super winning. So I was just like, damn, this is dope, you know. And that just inspired me, just being in that like ambiance. And I just walked in the studio. I would just walk in sessions and just like peep in, see what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So I walked in one studio and I heard this piano, because I love pianos. I came from church. So I walked in the studio, and then there was a room full of people in one room, and then they heard me, and then I like tried to shut the door quiet, and they was like, "Yo, who's that?" Blah blah. Like, oh fuck, I got caught.
Like, it's Shad here.
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't gonna go say that. I use it to get in, but that's it.
Straight up.
But so I was like, "Oh, my bad, man. I'm at the wrong studio session." And he's like, "No, come in. What's up? What you doing?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So it turned out that was like Brian Michael Cox.
Wow.
He's a dope producer. And then they was at the Sony Studios recording, and they were working on a song called "Be Without You" from Mary J. Blige. Wow. And so he's playing it. They're playing the music. I was like, damn, this shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, and they told me it was about to drop and stuff like that. So I got to know him. And then they were like, yo, we about to go get some food. You want some food? I was like, yeah, let's go. So like, you know, we went outside and went to the front, and like, I think it was like, I don't know if it was like 2 Benzes or like 2 Bentleys or something like that. Like 2 crazy cars pulled up. And I was like, whoa.
2 hard bodies came up.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because the dudes I was with doing the 50 Cent stuff, they had, I think the head dude had like a Jeep Cherokee. So I was like, man, something's off. It's like, something's off. No knock to you, Chris Styles. You know, it's all good. But I was just like, something adding up here. I was like, I need to do what these dudes doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, Brian, ever so gracious, and he hooked me up with like CSAC. He's like, who's your performing rights organization? I was like, I don't got one. So he's like, I'm going to introduce you to the people at CSAC. Wow. So he introduced me to people at CSAC.
And this all happened because of your wandering
around New York, yeah.
At that specific time, you happened to be there.
Yeah.
Door open, you strolled up in there like with your young Bow Wowedness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like ended up wandering again.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. I always ended up in situations like that. Like,
well, I mean, look, like that's the beauty of life, right? Like you wander long enough, you're gonna find something.
Word.
You didn't just sit at home thinking like, damn, how can I do this? I need a plot. Like you were out in
the streets.
This is the beauty of it. You were out in the streets, and because for you it was like, well, shit. And you were literally reading the liner notes. Like you were literally hitting it from all angles.
Yeah. It
was destined for you to end up in a room that would lead to somewhere else.
Right.
That's one point. Like I just want to take this moment and harp on and really, you know, it's a blessing that you had this in you. at that time. It's also, you know, it's very fitting being that you've always wanted to be the best and you weren't. To me, what's clearly shown here is that there was never a fear of failing.
Nah.
Because it was always opportunity and possibility and a yearning to get there. You came from a cocky background, not cocky background, but you came from a place in which your ego hadn't been checked in regards to the industry. Like when you got put into the rooms and heard the type of music that was being created at the times, like you weren't ready. If Brian Michael Cox on a random said, "Yo, I need you to like work with Mary," you'd literally sit there and be like,
"Yeah, I knew I wouldn't be ready for that."
Yeah. But you had put yourself in a position where now, by chance, right? But it was a chance that you had literally put into motion,
right?
Or here,
right?
And that's a blessing. Like it's like if there's something that somebody in your path could take away. You know, everybody hears about the stories like the Cole waiting outside Jay's studio forever and all that. Like, the craziest thing is all these things sound a lot better than they are.
Yeah.
Like Wandering, like looking back now can sound really dope, but it's like you went out there because you had a mission.
Yeah. Nah, it wasn't that fun.
I tip my hat off to you.
Sometimes it was cold as hell outside. Yeah. All these studios have locks on their doors. You got to get buzzed in. All these labels have security. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of standing outside in cold. There's a lot, and I was broke as hell, so I was hungry and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just like not cool. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I would sleep outside of studios because I knew like rappers wouldn't leave till like 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So I was like waiting outside of Baseline Studios, hoping to see like Hove and like Just Blaze or like Kanye and like Benny Siegel or one of them guys. Because the Blueprint, the Black album had came out and stuff like that. So I was just trying to like just get in. You know what I'm saying? So I was always like outside
and
somewhere.
You read the liner notes on every single project.
Yeah, every project. Yeah, so, I was just like those are cool times. So now I think about it, but yeah, so B Cox was like the first guy to like bring me into like some official shit. So I was signed to CSAC with I have no songs coming out, nothing like that. And then so through MySpace again, I got reached out to by a company that shall remain nameless. And they're like, "Yo, man, we're a LA-based company, and we love your music, and you got brought to our attention a couple times, and we want to know if you would want to come out here and like be a part of our production company." And I was just like, "Hell yeah!" And I was like, "But I'm in New York, I ain't got no money." You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't in school no more, and I have a job. I got fired from Finish Line for like not coming on time and stuff like that. So they're like, "Well, we'll fly you out." I was like, oh, "Okay, well." Can y'all talk to my mom? You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Yeah. So I had them call my mom, and then they're like,
"Wow, that's incredible."
Yeah, they call my mom, and they're just like, "Yo, we think your son's incredible, and we want to fly him out, and like, you know, we want him to be a part of our production company." And she was like, "Well, who are you guys?" And so they kind of told her about themselves, and she was sold. You know, she loves American Idol. She loves like all the stuff that they were doing and stuff like that. So she was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I flew out like 2 days later from New York to LA. Meanwhile, like my daughter was born. I saw my daughter maybe like one time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I went back when she was born. She was born in November, so I stayed. That's part of the reason why I failed out of school, because I went back and I stayed home from like November 5th. She was born till like January, so I like missed the whole November of school. But yeah, so I think I flew out there like in like March 2006. And I flew to LA. Never been to LA before.
Wow.
And it was dope. I was in the studio. They like put me in right away. I was in the studio with like Marcus Houston and Omarion. They were killing at that time. Like 2006. That was like that was like straight their time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like and then they were doing like the Dreamgirls soundtrack.
Oh wow.
And a whole bunch of stuff. So it was a lot of stuff going on. I was in the studio like seeing Jamie Foxx in the hallways and like all these different people in the hallway. You know, Jennifer Hudson, big Jennifer Hudson.
Wow.
And like all these different people. And I was just like, am I really here off MySpace? Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Were you putting music out consistently on MySpace?
Yeah, I was changing my playlist like every week.
Okay.
Like every Friday. You know, I was like putting new beats up there and stuff like that. So it was only beats though. Like it wasn't like I wasn't recording, I wasn't singing or nothing back then. So, but yeah, so I that was a dope situation at the time. And then, but they had this like crazy contract and a bunch of other stuff went down, and then the situation ended up not working out. And then they kind of got really upset with me, and then they had me in a house, and so they like kicked me out, and they took all my stuff, and they brought it to the studio, like all my bags and my suitcase, and they brought it to the studio.
Wow.
And then they like put me on the street, and they're like, "You're never allowed back here again."
Wow. That's so dramatic.
Yeah.
It's literally like a movie scene.
But you know what's crazy though? Like, I commend you for this, because it came down to you not signing an agreement. Yeah.
Came down to me not signing an agreement.
Okay.
And
this is one of those things, dog, that like a lot of people in this game get fucked up.
Tell them new shit.
Cats that just want, like, cats that want to be on so bad.
Tell them
and they
new
are willing to
shit.
say, like, you know, and they will remain nameless. But
yeah,
it's crazy how this game is built upon getting fucked one way or another. Right? For real though, because it's like, as an artist, you realize, like, you know, Leora Cohen's gone on record to say this shit, like, look, on your first deal, I'm gonna fuck you.
Word. Yeah.
But if you outlast that and all this, then we're gonna get rich together, right? It's like an indentured servitude, if you will. And rarely do people have people in their corners that can look at an agreement, sans the people that are giving it, right? A lot of times people come in like big weight, like, you're my idol. Like, of course I'm going to just sign away my life to you.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Right? But then when you have somebody that sees something like this, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's in that vein.
Yeah.
You're just like, wait, these were the deal points here?
Yeah.
So y'all gonna talk to my lawyer or what?
They wanted me to sign the contract as is. They're like,
up.
no negotiation.
Straight up.
That's what they told me.
And for you,
And you had the foresight to be like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what gave you that foresight, or what? If it was the worst deal in the world, there's still a million people that would still sign that and probably have throughout the course of music industry.
Yeah.
Why? You know, you're in LA. It could be a good opportunity to start building your career. And some people, like Nushi said, you go into the mindset of sometimes you got to get fucked just to play the game.
Yeah, and sometimes you never come back. Like,
so,
you making music, not making a goddamn thing.
Well, a lot of times. So yeah, what was that for you to say no?
I just read a lot of stories about people who got fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like people.
Word.
And then when I came out to LA, when I was in New York, you know, like for instance, like the people I was with, and they had hits on the radio at current hits. You know what I'm saying? The dude had a Jeep Cherokee. Yeah. Then the other dude just like had like 2 Bentleys. I was just like, you know, something's wrong. Something's wrong with that paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So
straight
I was
up.
like, you know, and I had a lawyer, and he was like, yeah, if you sign this contract, I can't represent you.
Oh wow!
He's like,
Thank God for that.
Yeah, he was like, I know you want to do this really bad. He's like, but it ain't right, and let me tell you why. He told me why. You know what I'm saying?
So you had good representation.
The influence of a lawyer, man. That's
Can you imagine some of the most that come in though, and they're like, "Here's your lawyer,"
right?
Because that happens a lot. Hey, here's your lawyer. He drafted this agreement for us.
That happens. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah, I know some people that's happened to.
I mean, that happens all the time. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's so important to have a good lawyer in this.
That was dodging a bazooka, not a bullet.
Yeah, I'd probably still be in a contract right now.
Was that scary? Yeah. Was that scary for you to say no?
Yeah, it was scary to say no, because I knew if I said no, that meant I was going home. So I tried.
Home as in St.
Home
Louis?
as in back to St. Louis. Because I had quit school and stuff like that. So I didn't want to go back home. I was like, I'm here in LA. I want to like make this work somehow, some way. I hope they like me enough to like just work with me. But they kept saying like, there's no negotiation. Just tell your lawyer like,
it's a dirty game.
It's ready. And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
And then after that, it was what I love is that the true colors actually come out, because it's like all nice and great, and they'll talk to your mom and all these things, and then it's like, oh no, hold on, you said no.
Get his ass out.
Here's your bags and go stand on the fucking sidewalk, because that's where you live now.
It's not even like, come on, let's get the fuck out.
Let's get the fuck out.
On the fucking way.
Like,
you're banned from the 3rd floor of this building forever.
Like you're thinking like, hey, you know, I'm a nice guy, I'm talented. I'll say no, but you know, maybe they'll still work with me. It's like, that's not how this game works.
Yeah.
Listeners.
Nah.
At all.
Nah.
Like, not even for a second. Like that dream or that thought. No. This is how it works.
Right. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that cutthroat. So So I was like distraught, man. I was like walking around the streets of Hollywood, like I don't know nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out. Okay,
how long was that period?
What about? I was homeless. I was out there on the streets for like
the period where you got flown out.
Oh, that was like a month and a half.
Got it.
I was out here for like a month and a half, and I drug it out as long as I could.
Yeah. What was that day like going out on the streets and figuring it out? Did you hop to a hotel? Did you? I mean.
I had $0. They took my money. I didn't have a cell phone. They took the cell phone back.
Oh, dog.
So
You're
like
literally walking.
So I'm walking, and I came from New York. It was cold, so and it's hot in LA. So I had like my winter jacket on. I think at the time I was growing my hair back, and I couldn't afford to go to the barbershop and get a shape up. So my hair was like just crazy. Wow. And like I was walking around the streets of LA. I had like 4 suitcases. And I was like in Hollywood off Cahuenga, just like, okay, like where do I go? So I just started walking.
Wow.
And then I ended up at the Beverly Center. I was like walking for hours.
From Cahuenga.
Yeah.
That's a nice walk.
Yeah.
That's a nice walk.
Yeah.
And what he means by nice is a long fucking
walk.
Yeah.
That's a healthy walk.
That's crazy because along the way I was asking people for money, like so I could use a payphone and get some food, and nobody would give me any money. Like,
literally within 2 hours, your life flipped completely upside down.
Yeah.
Wow.
You went from being a producer in LA to on the streets begging for money.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like, can you take us through that moment? Because this is an intimate ass moment. You take us through that moment where you literally walking down, God knows which street from Cahuenga to the Beverly Center. Was it Melrose?
I don't even remember.
Some street, right? You're walking down, then it becomes like, well, shit, dog, I don't have anything. It becomes a necessity, right? I need to ask for something.
Yeah.
What was that moment like? Or was it just like, okay, well, shit, we're here right now. Like, I got to figure something out. Or was it? Because that's a devastating blow.
I got pride, man, but I had to put my pride to the side and just like, I was hungry as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I needed to get some food. I was just asking people for like $1 or 50s.
Like literally hungry, not like ambitious.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, I was like literally couldn't get 50 cents from nobody. I literally was at a light. I remember this lady, she was in a drop top red Bentley. And I was like, ma'am, if you have any cash on you. Like, and I saw a big wad of cash. It's like, if you have any cash on you, could you please give me like $1? Like, I'm starving. I don't mean to bother you. I'm not homeless or nothing like that. I'm just going through a rough time. Wow. And she looked at me, she said, get a life. And she like, she like drove. She like skirted off. So I was like, damn, these people are harsh out here, man.
Get a life.
Yeah. And yeah, so I made it to the Beverly Center, and I was like, I didn't know why I went to the Beverly Center. Someone just said, go to the Beverly Center. So I'm like, I'm walking. I got a book bag on. I got like a duffel bag, and I got 2 suitcases that I'm dragging like this with wheels on it. Wow. So like,
it's hot. You're sweaty.
It's hot. I'm sweaty. I got an afro.
Got the bubble jacket on.
I got the bubble jacket on. It was like this FUBU jacket with fur on it.
Who are you? I would look at you and be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I probably look crazy as hell. So I'm walking through the Beverly Center, and I went to the bathroom and I like washed up. Like I took some towels and stuff. I just because I was sweating crazy.
Oh my god!
So I washed up, washed my underarms, changed my underwear. Like I was like drenched, and like freshened up, changed my clothes. Went to the fucking department store in there. Sprayed some cologne and just like I was just walking around, and I was just like, dang, just like thinking like, wondering. Damn, yeah, I was just wondering again. I was just like, damn, my life is crazy right now. Like, like I don't have any way to contact my mom. I was asking to use people's phones too. Nobody would let me use their phone. They thought I was like gonna take it and like run or something. So I'm like, okay. So I was just sitting in the food court in the Beverly Center when they had a food court, and I was just chilling, man, just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I just was crying and stuff and like praying, and I was just confused and just distraught. I don't know. I just decided to go back and just walk around, and this fine ass model chick just kept looking at me, and I was like, damn, what's she looking at? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was weird. And I'm like, I know I look crazy, but and then I went back to the food court because I was tired of walking, and then she was in the food court, and she just kept looking at me and smiling. I was like, okay.
What's good?
I know.
What's good, baby John? What's good?
Yo, baby girl, let me holler at you real quick. Nah. So like,
got a nice jet. I like the fur.
Like, you remind me of
right.
I like that.
So she went to the Sombrero line to get some pizza. It was kind of long, and so I went and stood behind her like I had some money, and then I just started talking to her, and she's like, so what are you doing with all those bags? And I was like, man, let me tell you something. I just signed my record deal. I just signed the Capitol, and my hotel ain't ready yet. I was just like, I was like, so I'm just here at the Beverly Center.
The inner Bow Wow came out of it.
For real.
I was like,
as a matter of fact, like my driver dropped me off, got in an accident.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
So I'm like, yeah, man, I just signed my deal.
Quick with it though.
Yeah, man, she was fine. I was like, so I just signed my deal. You know, my hotel ain't ready, so I just came to the Beverly Center to kill some time. And she's like, oh, that's what's up. So you sing? I was like, yeah, you know, I sing a little bit. You know, I produce, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, wow, that's so cool. I never really met her like a musician before. She's like, I model. I was like, oh, that's dope. Whatever. So we just started talking. And then she got her pizza. And she's like, you know what? I'm like, nah, I'm not hungry. I changed my mind.
You're starving.
You were
starving.
Were you looking at that pizza like,
I was looking at that pizza like I wanted to just inhale. I wanted to inhale that pizza, man. So like, you know, so we're talking, and then she's like, so what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't really know anybody here. And then she's like, well, you can hang with me until they like get your hotel ready. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay, dope. So she let me go to her house. She had a house in the hills. I don't know what her dad or her parents did or does or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, so she let me stay at her place, and I took a shower. This was after I was like wandering on the streets for like, I think the first, for like 2 days. Yeah, for like 2 days. And I went back to the Beverly Center, and I met her the second day. And she let me take a shower at her place and everything. And
wow.
Wait, where'd you
call
stay
my mom.
Where'd you stay that night?
Where night?
Or this is still that same day?
No. I was on the streets for like 2 days.
Oh, so
yeah, I would go to the Beverly Center to like wash up and stuff like that.
And then so where'd you? I'm just curious. Like,
where'd I sleep?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
The first time I slept on the side of the SLS hotel, like in the back.
Wow.
It is what it is. I didn't put myself in a situation. I was just like, you know, I'm not no kid. Like, I gotta just thug it out. And so, like, I just posted up with my suitcases, just went to sleep on the back of the SLS. Then the second time, I think I went to sleep, like, somewhere, like, off, like, Burden Way, like, in between, like, this apartment complex. So, and I would go to the Beverly Center and wash up. So then the third day is when I met the girl. And
another girl?
No, the model chick.
Girl.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I met her, and then she took me to her crib, and that's when I took, like, a real shower. And then I called my mama. And I told her what happened, and my mom was like crying and stuff like that.
How did you and the girl link back up that third day?
No, I met her on the third day.
Got it.
Yeah, okay, I met her on the third day, and she took me to her crib. So she took me to her crib, and I showered and called my mom and told her everything.
That shower must have felt so good.
Man, that was like the best shower ever.
Yo, for real. And he got taken to the Hollywood Hills, though. You know what
she
I mean?
had a crazy like
the straight
condo.
Extremes in John's life right now.
And had you eaten? Like, were you able to eat?
She fed. She had so much food at her house.
Yo,
she had so much.
At
food.
that point, the Sbarro was like, "Yo, what we cooking?"
Right. I was like, you know what? I'm hungry now. You got some food? And she was like,
you know, he's like starving, but he's like eating like real casual and slow. And just
I think I was inhaling food.
Were you? Were you just?
Yeah. She's like, her name's Carmen too, man. I call her my guardian angel.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Carmen.
Shout out to Carmen, man. I took her shopping too.
That's incredible.
After I got some money.
That's incredible.
But yeah, so Carmen let me use her shower and stuff, and she let me like just like wash up and call my mom and get comfortable. And my mom bought my plane.
At this point, were you still signed the Capitol, or like did it come out?
I was never signed the Capitol, bro.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I had to tell her the truth.
Okay,
I told her the truth.
Were you still the artist whose hotel was getting cleaned out?
Yeah, nah, I had to tell her the truth.
All right, perfect.
What would she say when you told her?
She's like, well, you didn't have to lie to me. I was like, well, I was just like, I didn't think that was the first thing that came to my mind, and I'd probably look crazy for having all the suitcases, so I didn't know how to like tell you that.
Incredible, yeah.
And she was like, it's fine. She was like, it happens, blah, blah.
That's awesome.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So then my mom bought my plane ticket, and she got it for Saturday, and I was at the girl's house on a Thursday. So the girl let me stay with her for like 2 days.
Incredible.
And just like chill, and like we like, that was like my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like literally just met her at the Beverly Center, and we just got like real close. And
that's a human connection right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like take you in, give you shelter, give you food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
like,
man.
Listens to your truth.
Yeah, man.
Is actually a little bit like, wait, why'd you lie? But you're still kind.
Yeah.
Imagine like there's a beauty in that.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was lit.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It was dope. It was cool. And and we just, she let me stay there until I went back to St. Louis, and my mom flew me back to St. Louis, and then I told her everything when I landed, and she was just like crying, like, dang, how could they do that to you? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, Mom, I did it. I lived in New York. It didn't work out. I lived in LA. It didn't work out. I quit. It's like, wow. I was like, I don't want to.
Where's that printer?
Wow.
It's like, I don't want to do
it. You about to step that reference.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, I quit. I don't want to do music no more. It's just, these people are crazy.
How old were you at this point?
Like 20. Yeah, I was 20. And I had a daughter. And so my daughter's mom was like, You done been this place and you done been that place and you still broke. You ain't got no money. Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I need to just get a job and just like man up, boss up, and just like take care of my daughter, man. So I moved back home. Me and my daughter's mom still together. I moved back home, and I'm in town. I was working at FedEx at night, like 8 to 12 p.m. I was working at McDonald's in the daytime. Wow. And I was just thugging, man, for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Yeah. That was my life.
Were you hitting the music when you got back home, or was it
I didn't.
work?
Nah, I didn't
take a step back.
I quit.
You quit.
I didn't do music.
Done.
Wow.
Yeah, I was done.
It'll put you on your ass, man.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, I'm not
That
done.
is fucking insane.
Yeah,
I feel it though, but it's like these moments happen.
yeah.
So you were a year of FedEx and McDonald's, like anything you could do to make money. At that point, it became daughter.
Yeah.
It was always daughter, but at that point, it became like, let's stop dreaming a little bit and like, let's have a little substance.
Yeah. I was just like, and it was more, you know, I didn't want to stop dreaming. It was just like, I had some crazy opportunities that, you know, a lot of people thought I was lying when I would tell people back home, you know what I'm saying? Like I sent my mom pictures of like, you know, Jennifer Hudson in the hallway and stuff like that, just so she wouldn't think I was lying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people thought I was lying. Like,
I
these are
mean,
regular people back home. You know what I'm saying?
World, like that's so far from what their truths are.
Yeah.
How was that for you that year? Like, were you cool? Was it like, I quit, I'm done, cool, or like was it?
Nah, because when you
through your mind,
when you love something that much, it was like, I love music, like, to my core, you know what I'm saying? And I had this vision in my mind, and the fact that I didn't make it there bothered me. But what happened to me with these people out here in LA, it hurt me.
Yeah.
So through the hurt and the emotion of it, I was like, I can't do this no more. But the fighter and the winner in me was like,
you about to come back stronger.
Yeah, you gonna have to figure it out. Like, this job is just temporary, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so then, like, maybe like 6-7 months into moving into living back home in my mom's house, I start getting the itch again. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And then at that time, I got approached by some like people in the hood. And this rapper named Huey was popping at the time. He had this song called Pop, Lock, and Drop It out. And he's from St. Louis. And so, like, some of his
history, dog. What the fuck? He said he had this song called Pop, Lock, and Drop It at the time. Like
I didn't know if that was big outside of St. Louis.
Motherfuckers across the states wasn't listening to that.
I thought that was some St. Louis shit. My bad. I ain't know.
My bad for getting so offended, but goddamn. This Persian ass kid was fucking pop locking and dropping like that. You know what I'm saying?
And thank you to the homies, just doing the calling you out right there.
Right.
Yeah. That's what you guys. Thank you.
They were just embracing in the surprisedness. You know what I mean? Like pop like.
Yeah. So
he had that was popping.
So some of my homies, I used to always be around thug dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? So like some of my homies was cool with some of his homies. So they're just like, Huey doing his album, dog, you might want to give him some beats. I was like, man, I ain't made beats in a long time. It's like, I probably ain't got no beats. So I went to go meet Huey, and this is when it was still buzzing in the city. It didn't even make it national yet. Like, he didn't even shoot the video for Pop Lock and Drop yet. So like, he was like, yeah, man, like, I keep hearing that you got that hot shit and you like was out in New York and LA and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, man, let me hear your music. Let me see where you at. So he played me some of his music and I was like, okay, cool. So,
this has just kind of become a thing where like a song became one of those things.
Hey.
Like only fucking St. Louis, dog. Perfect.
Yeah, man.
That shit was a movie back then.
Word. Yeah, man.
And now we setting the stage. He having a convo with Huey.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm having a convo with Huey in the studio. We in like some basement studio, like in the hood. And like it's a bunch of like bloods and stuff around, but I was always like, whatever, I wasn't into that. I just wanted to make music. So
yeah,
he's playing me his music and then he's like, yeah, man. So man, like, yeah, I'm trying to wrap this album up in like, like in a few days. I mean, like in a couple weeks. He's like, so yeah, like some like just give me some beats. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna go home and make some. So I went home like that night and I opened up my Fruity Loops and I was back on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's like maybe like 7 months into me being in St. Louis, and I just made like 4 beats that night. And I went and I met up with him the next day, and then he literally like went straight to the studio and he rapped on one and he made this song called Adidas that he had put out. Like he shot a video to it.
Hey, the podcast's over though.
We're done. Thank you guys. Thank you. It's been real.
That's what's up. So that was like our first little joint that we did together, and then he shot a video to it. And they put it out, and it was kind of like a street like little buzz record or whatever. And then he's like, I need a joint for my album. And at the time, I was obsessed. with like Scott Storch. So
legend.
Legend, man.
His
key
like game has been
the best.
Juilliard prolific from jump.
He was the original keyboard player on the Roots. Yeah,
come on, baby.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, man. Scott Storch is like one of my idols. So like, I was just a big fan of his work because he had like the kind of production, like you couldn't tell it was him. You know how like some producers at the time, like Pharrell, you could tell a Pharrell beat.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Timbaland, you could tell the Timbaland beat. But like Scott Storch, you couldn't tell. Like he would do like Lean Back and then he would do like Me, Myself, and I for Beyonce. Yeah. So it was like, I like that because it was like, then he would do like Cry Me a River. You know what I'm saying? So it was like this dude had jams and you couldn't even really pinpoint him unless you listen to like the little.
Keyboard's a fucking gateway in production, dog.
Yeah. So at the time he had this song called with Lil Wayne called Make It Rain. And that was like one of my favorite like rap songs.
He keeps doing it. He just keeps doing it.
Like he had this song called and like
what?
If you keep speaking on it as if it was like a fucking paper airplane that just flew by you,
tell him this.
He's out here like, and at the time, like there was this record just like, Kanye called it Through the Wire.
No, I'm not meaning to do it.
No, I'm not clowning. I'm not saying that you specifically doing it. I'm just saying if you make, and I'm not saying you're making it sound, you're trying to be ultra humble. No, I'm just saying in the way of the story, if you go like, Jay, I was with Jay, I was in the room and like he just, he heard this record and he was making a song cry and it was like one of those things where, and then Shorty passed me a Gatorade and it was kind of like
this girl passed me Gatorade and her name was Beyonce.
Yeah.
And this girl
and this was back when she was in love with him and he had like 16 hoes on the sideline.
Yeah.
So he had the record with Wayne.
So he had a record with Wayne called Make It Rain. It's my favorite rap song. And then
one of mine too, though. That's
like
I'm sitting here getting blapped by Mike Tyson punches right now.
Yeah, so basically, I just took that beat and I made my own version of that beat.
Word.
And I sent it to Huey, and Huey loved it. And then they put T-Pain on it, and that was right before T-Pain was like T-Pain. That was like right before like Buy You a Drink. So that was my first like major placement. It came out on Huey's debut album. It was called Tell Me This G5. And that was my first like album credit. You know, like, and that's my first, like.
Incredible, dog.
Yeah. Wait, are you still working at McDonald's?
Yeah, I was still working at McDonald's.
That is fucking incredible, dog. And FedEx, B.
See, I love that, like, when you were in New York in the studios and when you came out to LA and had that opportunity in the contracts, like, no shit really popped off. But while you're working at McDonald's and FedEx, you're getting your first credit.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man.
Yeah. No, but look, shout out. Okay, look. Can we? I want to bring back the through line of the hood.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to the hood.
Shout out to the hood, really, because the hood was giving you $500 licks here and there.
Yeah.
And then you come back from being broken, and it's like the hood's back.
Yeah.
The hood's giving young Jaylien.
Yeah.
RC baller, like loves to draw, knows he's like quiet and about the vibes. Like it's funny because like I want to make an assumption like you were probably that dude that the hood cats knew was hella talented.
Yeah.
And knew just had a vibe, so like they brought you in.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, we about to protect this young one.
I'll be scared sometimes too.
Yeah, like he not one of us, right? That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that like getting back into music and then having that quick kind of success with it? Did that jumpstart something in you?
Yeah, that made me like, okay, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? And I got my first like check, and it was $2,500. It wasn't that much, but it was like, you know, $2,500 that I didn't have, and I was like, okay.
Because when you get kicked down like that, especially in something like music, it's like your ego goes with that, and your confidence goes with that, and your creativity goes with that too. Yeah. It's like,
but Rashi, he was hella young still too, though.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying like when you're working. Think about this. When you're working at McDonald's and FedEx and you come home smelling like fries and Big Macs and like envelopes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the scent stick. Like
then I started working at Chick-fil-A.
And chicken sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Making that popcorn chicken.
Though, dog.
How good how good can your like he's talking about vibes here with the you got the candles and the
vibes are definitely
like your vibes coming home and sitting on that keyboard player.
Yeah.
On that keyboard is like, you know,
I feel you.
It's not the most confidence boosting to make you the most inspired.
He was dipping in some Polynesian sauce like as
So
shout out to Chick-fil-A.
For real.
So you know, being creative in that, you know, can be really tough. You know? I mean, people talk about like writer's block and things like that, but just aside from that stuff, just like sitting down after being exhausted from working these jobs, it's like you're not necessarily feeling like the man coming in. I'm like making like banger beats and the hottest shit. It's just like it doesn't necessarily parallel.
The thing about that was like I'll be at work, like start working at Chick-fil-A, and I'll be at work and I'll be in the back, and it was like I worked at like this real like bougie mall, and they had just built the Chick-fil-A, but then they hired like a bunch of people from the hood. So like it would be like us in the back. You know,
it's like schools where they busting in the kids from the city.
Yeah, and it was like I was the only one with a car and shit. So like it'd be like us in the back. They all be trying to con me into taking them back home, like at the end of the shift. So I have to like leave early, so they didn't want to take the bus. So like it was just weird because like I'd be working at Chick-fil-A and they'd be in the back like rapping and stuff like that, and like we just all like just be freestyling and stuff like while we making people food and like and then like people like one of the dudes said that it kind of like really like made my mind switch. He was like, yeah, man, because we were making like $7.25. He was like, man, I want to be the manager of this joint, man. You know how much the manager make? Man, he make like $10.75, bro. Like, man, I could get a house in North County with that. North County is like where like the black people move when they get money in St. Louis. It's like, man, I can get me a house in North County with that. And I looked at him, I was like, $10.25. That's dope to you?
Out your fucking damn mind.
Then I just like went outside myself and I was like,
you floating above it.
Yeah, I was
but
like,
also, I mean, it also shows where like your standard is for yourself too.
Yeah, my mom is a registered nurse. Now she's a doctor. So it's like, it's like, man, I think when she was working in the hospital, she was making like $60 an hour or something, $70 an hour or something like that. So I was just like, and then she just switched to salary. So it was like, you know, when he said $10.75 was like a goal for him and he could get a house with it, I was like, bro, you ain't getting no house with no $10.75. I was like, man, why am I working with these people, man? What the fuck am I doing here?
And you just went from the Bentleys, from the Cherokees to the Bentleys.
Yeah.
he side-eyed the Cherokee too. It was like
to the 1075.
He's like, y'all getting fucked.
Well, I was making $7.25.
So the 720, yeah.
So I'm making $7.25 at Chick-fil-A, and I'm working with these people from the city who obviously ain't never had nothing. And and then I had this boss who was just like an asshole, and I was just like look at him sometimes like, what makes him the boss of me? Like,
for real.
Like, who put you like? Should nobody be able to tell me what to do? I was just like in like LA, like living life. I was like, man, like what makes this dude the boss of me? Like, why? How is he more important to me, or how does he have like power over me? Like, I don't want to work somewhere where somebody feel like they got power over me. Like, I should have power over myself at all times.
Wow.
So that's when I
absolutely.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm about to quit this job. You know what I'm saying? And then right when I got my $2,500 check from the Huey thing, I quit the job, and I was just like, man, I'm about to start get back on the music. And so me and my best friend at the time, he was going through a tough situation out here in LA, and we went to high school, we went to middle school together. He started coming back home more frequently. And he had on his Myspace page that he was signed to Def Jam, and I was like, "Damn, somebody from my hometown signed to a label." I was like, "That's crazy." So I would annoy his ass all the time about working, and he would never reply to my Myspace messages. So then his mom lived behind my mom, so I would like look back there and wait to see if like he was in town sometime. You know what I'm saying? So then one time I called him back there, and I was like, "Hey, bro," I was like, "What's up, man? You don't never answer my Myspace messages, bro. What's up?" I was like, "Man, I told you."
Pulled up on him, dog.
Yeah. I was like, "Man, I told you I make beats, man. Like, so what's going on? Like, we should like link up." He's like, "Oh man, sorry, I ain't in town that long." He's like, "But let's link up. I'll be back like in a month. Like, let's link back up then. Like, blah blah blah." So then he like was playing me and stuff like that. So then I guess he thought I was like some like local St. Louis dude with like whack ass beats or something like that. So, and I would hear his music. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." You know, like,
you know, like,
but I know
bro, like I can like lift you up real quick.
Yeah. I was like, "But shit, if he signed a Def Jam, I'm gonna need that check." So like, so he came back home one time, and I had just caught him in the driveway, and I jumped the fence and I ran back there. And we just started talking, and then I was like, "Bro, I got a CD right now. I'm gonna play some beats." So I just took whatever CD was in his mom's van out her truck, and I just put my CD in there, and I played him my music, and then I saw his face screw up. And he's like, "Damn, you really dope." I was like, "Man, I tried to tell you, bro." And he's like, you like better than the dudes I'm working with in LA. Then I was like, "Yo, we need to work." I was like, "My cousin got a studio. Like I got the basement studio whenever." And then he's like, "Man, you want to work tonight?" So we just literally created like a friendship, like bond, partner, brotherhoodship, like at that moment. And we were just in the studio like every night in St. Louis at my cousin's crib, like to like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I would take that time to just get my love for music back and like get back in the swing of just producing and stuff like that. And I used him because he was a singer, to like just build music around and like, you know, learn how to vocal produce and learn
both
how
of
to.
You guys were benefiting from.
Yeah, we were benefiting each other, and you know, I'll forever thank him for like letting me use him like that, or just being there to like help me. Like better my craft as a producer and a songwriter and a vocal arranger and an engineer and all that. You know, I had somebody to experiment on because I didn't. I wasn't singing.
Look,
nothing like that.
You forever thank him. I got to thank you for having that ambition.
Yeah.
Right. Because who's going like again, like bro. Yeah, you know, I saw him again in the driveway. I just busted the gate, flipped the corner, like had the CD in his pocket, took the fucking CD out, put it in the whip. Like, bro, what's good?
Right. Yeah.
Like that is fucking motivation, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like that's like straight out of a New Age Friday movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's respect.
Yeah, man. The motivation is real.
Both of y'all mutually benefited from your tenacity. Again, this goes again like just lightweight, just like the ego will always deter you if you're not just open with it.
Yeah.
Like had he just kept brushing you off, he still would have been rocking with like mediocre producers. Yeah, man. And y'all would have never built a relationship that y'all did.
Right. Yeah, we got like real close, super tight. And like I was still working my job, but then I would like go to work crying every day, listening to like Closer to My Dreams. Respect. And I was just like, you know, that was like my theme song on the highway. And
I just want to take a moment just to shed a tear real quick.
Yeah.
All right, we back.
Amen. yeah, so I eventually quit my job, and then me and him would just be in the studio every day, and just making records. And I was like, I mean, I don't know if we was making an album, or if we was making his demo. I don't know what we was making. We were just making songs, and MySpace was dying down, and but I still had like some connects on there from like New York. I was like, yo, we need to like take a trip to New York and just like go play these music for people. Like, it's just kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? And so he got into a situation with his manager here, so he moved away from LA and he moved back to St. Louis. I was living in St. Louis already, and I was just like, bro, we need to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get out of here. Like, I got that itch back, and I was like, I quit my job. I was like, we need to get out of here and just like go like do this music shit. So I don't know. We went to church on New Year's Eve, 2007, and the pastor was talking about like achieving your dreams and doing something you never did before and taking a risk.
Wow.
And like when one door closes, that's probably God shielding you from something that you weren't supposed to be in, and you have another door, probably a better, bigger door, you know, further down the line if you don't give up. And all I was thinking about was like my LA situation, and I was just like, you know what, I need to this is a sign, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And then he was talking about, you know, like, if you got a dream. He was like, if you got to move. He's like, don't let nothing hold you back. Don't let your mama hold you back. He's like, mama, tell your mama, I'll be back. He's like, if you want to move, go to a different city, go to a different country.
At the perfect time.
Yeah. I feel like he was speaking to my soul.
That was meant to be.
That's piercing your soul right there.
Yeah. So I took that as a sign, and I started praying. And the only thing that I was hearing in my heart was like Atlanta. Like, I kept hearing the word Atlanta in my heart.
Wow.
Yeah. And so after church, I was talking to my boy, and I was like, because we went together. I was talking to my boy. I was like, man, it's crazy, dude. I was just in church. I mean, I was just praying, and I was asking God to like just give me a sign or something like that. And I think he was telling me that Atlanta. And then he was like, man, I swear to God, I was just praying too. And he told me Atlanta. I was like, I was just going to tell you that. And then I was like, so let's move to Atlanta. And so he was like, all right, cool, let's move to Atlanta. So we started looking at places on Craigslist, and we found this dope apartment.
And Atlanta's pretty affordable at that time, no?
It's still affordable, man. You can get a nice joint. But yeah, so we moved to Atlanta like a month later. So that was like January 1st. We got a crib. We moved into our crib like February like 2nd. So we put all our little money together, all our little scraps. Wow. And we just had enough for the down payment and for the first month's rent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For the deposit and the first month's rent, that's all we had. We moved in that bitch. We were sleeping on blow-up mattresses.
For real.
He had furniture from his LA crib, so we kind of had the place a little decorated, but we had got like a gigantic, like, imagine like living in the Grove. Like, you know, like we couldn't afford it, but we just wanted to stunt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, living in the Grove. It was like a shopping area, and they had like apartments, you know, in it and around it.
Okay.
So like, it's like living at the Palazzo, but we was broke as hell. And so like we lived.
Like if they came up into your spot, they'd be like, "Oh, y'all just move in today."
They came into our spot. They were like, "Oh, y'all doing pretty well." We was like, we ain't had no bank accounts. Like my bank account was in the negatives and shit. It got shut down. Shout out to Bank of America. And so
for real, shout out to Bank of America.
They good for shutting them accounts down.
Yeah.
So yeah, we in Atlanta. We living in Atlantic Station, and you know we got the crib. And man, I told myself I am not ever gonna quit music ever again, and I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna, you know, just do whatever I have to do to make it work. So I had my Mac laptop. My mom gave me some of her studio equipment. Actually, she gave me her whole thing. She gave me her whole studio setup. She was like, "Here, you take it."
Oh wow!
So I had like the keyboard. I had like speakers and like speaker stands and like a bunch of stuff. She just gave it to me. So yeah, that was the only thing I had. I had my blow mattress. I had like 3 articles of clothing, 1 pair of red Chucks, 1 pair of black Vans. These same Vans I got on right here.
There you go.
Not the same ones, but the same style.
No, those are the 10-year-old ones, right?
Yeah. And and I had my music stuff. So we were just down there just rocking out. And all the people that I knew on MySpace that did music in Atlanta, I would hit them up to work because I'm like, yo, I'm here in Atlanta. Like,
still working the MySpace connection.
Yeah, man. And they would hit.
Is MySpace still popping at that time?
Yeah, it was still popping.
Okay, yeah. It didn't hit the.
It wasn't in the Twitter. It wasn't in the Twitter and MySpace was popping, but it wasn't in the Instagram phase yet.
No, yeah.
Instagram was like 2010, 2011.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I'm on MySpace hitting people up, and people are responding, but they acting like they too busy. Like all these songwriters that I like look up to, like Sean Garrett, and like this songwriting team called The Clutch. They had wrote like all my favorite jams, like a Boy Like Sierra, and they wrote like stuff for Jennifer Lopez, and they wrote a bunch of like dope shit. They wrote Icebox for Marion, like all these songs that was popping at that time. And I'll hit them up, and they like knew me and stuff like that, but they wouldn't work on my music. I would send them beats. They would give me an email address too, and I would send them beats, and then it would take like forever to get like stuff back. Or I'll just never get nothing back. Yeah. And so I was just like, well, damn, man, like I'm out here. And these people was like, yeah, hit me when you get into town. Let's work. Then I get into town and nobody wants to work. So I was just like, all right, cool. Fuck it. I'm going to start writing my own songs. It can't be that hard. So that's when I started writing. Because I got tired I got tired of waiting on people. And they weren't like returning my phone calls. Wow. They weren't returning my emails. I was just like, all right, since y'all don't want to write to my beats, I'm gonna write to my own beats. So I would just like imitate them. You know, like they had a certain format, like, you know what I'm saying? Like songwriting, like I study music, and music is notes, and writing songs is just like melody and lyrics. Yep. So I was like, I'm a melody guy automatically because I make beats, you know what I'm saying? I play keys and stuff like that. Yeah. So I always had dope melodies, and I just had to figure out the word part, like how to use words, you know, the correct way, and word placement. And how to use, I used to say stuff sounded cheap when people use like stupid words, like she used to love me, but she doesn't love me right now, and stuff like that. Just sounds cheap to me. Yeah. So I had to figure out like how to say stuff that sounded expensive. And
that's actually a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Really is,
like,
though,
yeah. You think about it just like lyrically being, you know, clever or different or original, or like, yeah. It's actually, I mean, because you don't want to be you want to just be cool.
Yeah, you want to be cool.
Yeah, you want to be cool. That's how I've always like thought about lyrics too. Is like, I'll say shit cool. It doesn't have to be the most like sophisticated or poetic or metaphor driven shit. It just has to be cool. Don't stay on the surface with like the basic shit.
Super cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Rhyme scheme, rhyme pattern, melody leads. It's like no.
Yeah, man. And at the time, a lot of the Atlanta writers, they were like killing, and they all had like these dope song concepts, like. You could just tell that they were like real writers and stuff like that. Like they're this, like some songs would be called like Man of Steel, and like our song, one of my favorite songs at that time was like this song called Superhuman by Chris Brown and Kerry Hilson. And just like, you know, I would just like listen to these melodies and these songs and these topics. I'm like, man, okay, I would just study like songs all day, all night, just like study. So I would just like imitate it. Like I had a song called like Black Hole, like, you know, you like just choose like songs that had like dope like titles, and then make a song out of it. That's what I got from it. So, you know, I just started writing songs in my bedroom, and I was writing it with my best friend at the time who I lived with, and then he would go out a lot and stuff like that, and so I wouldn't want to go out. I'm like, oh, okay, you can go out, I'm gonna just stay here and make songs. So I just like would just make a gang of songs, and because I had to get familiar with my voice, because I hated my voice. Like I was just like, I can't sing. Like my roommate, my best friend is a singer. I can't sing, but he's at the club right now, so I guess I'll just do it for now.
Wow, matter of necessity.
Yeah.
Time and time again.
Yeah, and I would just make these songs, and then I would like I had like this little girl I used to have come over at night and stuff like that, and luckily for me, Atlanta, the gay ratio is very high. So the straight men, if you're really straight, you got all the girls. And so since I was a new guy in town, me and my roommate, we got like all the girls. You know what I'm saying? Incredible. So I always had this one, like couple, like I had my like nice rotation. And but this one girl, she would always come to my house at like weird times of the night, like 3:00 or 4:00. I'm like, where you coming from? And like, you know what I'm saying? Or she would be at my house and we'd like do things, and then
have good nice conversations.
Yeah. We would talk about, you know,
enjoy one another's company.
Yeah, man, it was great. And then she would like leave at like 3 o'clock or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Like, so after like the 4th or 5th time,
I feel like the Wanderer is about to come back.
Yeah, the Wanderer had to come back. So I'm like, where are you going? She's like, my sister lives up the street. I'm going to my sister's house. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then it just got weird. I'm like, why are you going to your sister's house at 5 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just got real weird. So one day I was like, all right, I'm about to follow her ass because I don't believe her.
Wanderer. Wanderer.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Lit.
So it happened. So she left my house and she goes, and I lived on like 16th Street, like right behind Atlantic Station. And then in Atlantic Station, there was like a condo building and it was called the 12 Hotel Condominiums. And so like a lot of people lived in there. I didn't know it. And there was apartments in there too. It was a hotel. It was half hotel, half condos. So either you were staying there like because you're visiting or you're staying there because you lived there. So she said that's where her sister lived at. So when she left my house, she's like, all right, babe, I got to go. You know, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, all right, I'll see you later. And I act like I passed back out. But I had like clothes waiting on the side of the bed. It was cold outside. And so she left. As soon as she went downstairs, I started putting my clothes on. And then when she walked out the door.
You were about to get it with a swiftness.
Yeah. I slid it on like a little ninja. And it was all black. I had my all black on. Like.
Just like when you needed to have the CD in and hop the fence, fucking take the CD out the whip.
Yeah, man.
You had the ninjutsu suit on.
I had the ninjutsu suit, man. I had my Sherlock Holmes hat on. So she leaves and I'm like right behind her and she walks up to the condo building and so I'm expecting like, you know, for her to like walk and I like see her sister come out. And so she's like waiting. So she's locked out the condo building. She's waiting. The security buzzers are in. And then she's waiting in the lobby. And then I see this real black motherfucker walk out the elevator and give my girl a hug and a kiss. Ooh. And grab her booty. Ooh. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. She's cheating on me with Akon.
Stop it. Stop it.
Wow.
So I'm
like. Sherlock Holmes came out and uncovered a fucking bombshell.
Yeah. So I got mad. I walked back home.
Fuck?
I couldn't sleep that night.
What was going through your head?
I was like, damn, this bitch is nasty. So I went home mad, and then I was like, so then I woke up, like I got some sleep, like a couple hours. Then I woke up and I was like, damn, well, if Akon live in this building, I wonder who else live in this building. So I went back to the building.
Akon.
Hey, no, the Wanderer again though, dog. He went back. He was like politicking out the building, dog.
Yeah, the building had a Starbucks, so they had free internet, and I had my MacBook. So I just would hang out in the lobby and use the free internet, and I would just sit around and just like people watch. I like to people watch. And then I would see like The Dream in there. I saw Jazzy Faye in there. I saw Dallas Austin in there.
God, you just saw the culture in there, dog.
Yeah, like just on a daily basis, I would see somebody. You know.
Shout out to the fact that also, like, much respect to y'all for being broke as fuck and just wanting to stunt in that apartment complex.
Oh yeah, we was stunned. We was behind on the rent and everything. We was stunned.
You feel me? But like that's where all the people that really were stunting were.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just inserted yourself.
We put ourselves right in the thick of it.
Scenario that like you had to like come across somebody.
Right.
And with your wandering prowess, like it was just a matter of time.
It was only a matter of time.
And
yeah.
Shout out to the fact that it was a shorty that just kept dipping out like late night meandering.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm sitting in the lobby and I would see the black motherfucker walk out and walk in. I would just mug him every time. I'm like, you dirty mother. You know what I'm saying? So then one day he has the audacity to walk up to me. I'm just playing the audacity. But no, he walks up to me, right? And then he's just like, hey, man, what do you do? You produce? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you do? I always see you with your headphones on. I was like, oh, yeah. I produce. I instantly like wasn't mad no more.
Yeah, I feel you.
I was like, I produce. He was like, yeah, man, if you got something.
You went from the dark dude to like, oh, Akon, yeah, you know, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So like, I'm like, yeah, I produce. I write. He's like, let me hear something. So I played him some music, and he's like, oh, this shit dope. And then he was like, make me a CD. he's like, make me a CD, and if I hear some like more dope shit, I'll call you back. And I was like, all right, for sure. So I made him a CD on the spot, gave it to him. I didn't have a phone at this time, so I wrote my best friend's cell phone number down. I was like, yeah, just call me, man, and just ask for Jay. He's like, wait, this ain't your phone? I'm like, yeah, but just ask for Jay anyway. I was like, my girl be having my phone sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
I just got signed to Capitol, down the building. Like, I'm waiting on my new phone to come in. They swapping it out.
A lot of stunting. A lot of faking it till you make it.
I love it, though. Yeah. That's glorious.
Yeah. So, like, so then right before he walks away, I'm like, yo, anybody ever told you look like Akon? And he laughed at me. He was like, yeah, he's like, I get that all the time. I'm like, oh, this nigga's fucking with me. So anyway, so then I got a homie named Chubby Baby in Atlanta. And he's like real, like he's like an Atlanta legend. He's like behind Future. He's like behind like a bunch of these like people. He like put money behind these people. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like a Atlanta legend. Wow. And then he was like my homie. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how I met Chubby, but shout out to Chubby Baby. He's a A&R at Epic Records now.
Wow. So, shout out to Chubby Baby.
Shout out to Chubby. So he was a rapper, and he's like part of like Dipset somehow. Like he was part of like he's like man, like him and Jim Jones were like best friends and stuff. Like it was just like he's just like a real connected dude. So he like brought me out in the club life in Atlanta and stuff like that. And then he was like, "Yo, man, I got this dude I want you to meet. He's part of he's a real good dude, and like he could like help you with the music and blah blah blah." So he's hooked me up with this dude. And dude started talking, and he's like, yo, you got any songs for Akon? And I was like, oh, it's crazy. I just met somebody that looked like Akon. And then he's like, oh, yeah, no, Akon's like my brother. He's like my business partner. And he's like, he's finishing his album right now. He actually rap, but if you got something dope, I could work my magic. And I was like, well, I got these songs. Actually, I got this one song I made. It's called Incredible. And I put the convict stamp on it and everything. And I was just like, so let me sing you that. And that might work for him. It sounds just like it. I wrote it for him. I didn't know how I was going to get it to him. I wrote it like 3 or 4 months ago. Oh, wow. I was like, so, hopefully he likes that. And he's like, all right, let me hear it. So I played it for him. He's like, oh, man. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, give me like 24 hours. So like literally.
Was this on the tape that you gave Akon to?
I found out that wasn't Akon.
Wow.
I found out that was his brother Boo.
Oh, I feel you.
But if you don't know what Akon looks like in real life, you would never
make that difference, man.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, they look close. So I give the other guy a CD and I give him that song, and then like yeah, man, I get a call like the next day, like, yo, Akon wants to use the record. Wow. I was like, what record? And he's like, the record. Like, word? He's like, yeah. So, man, and then I get a call, and it was Akon on the phone. He's like, yo, man, I want to buy the record from you. Like, yo, this shit's dope. And I was like, word. And then I was like, that's what's up. And he's like, yeah, I want to buy it from you. I'm like, wait. I was like, how much? He's like, I think it was something like $5,000 or something like that. And I was piss poor broke. So I was like, all right. This is a hell of a lot of money. I was like, cool. Then I was like, wait, you want to buy it from me? I was like, does that mean I get my credit on the album and stuff like that? And like my publishing? He's like, nah, I'm going to buy it from you.
I was just like, straight up.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to be on the album, bro. Like, I want to see my name in the credit.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't
you read those liners, dog. They
mean
something to you.
Yeah, it means something. So I was like, I'm sorry, bro. This would be a dream come true. I was like, but I don't want to be a part of the album. I mean, I don't want to give you the song if I can't get my credit. Like, I'll sell it to somebody else. And he was like, all right, if that's fair. He was like, you a real nigga.
That's lit.
And he was like, all right, well, let's just, he's like, yo, it's whatever. Like, I want the song. So like, I'll figure it out. Like, we'll split everything, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
what's crazy is you said that and you're broke.
Yeah, but I know what the publishing checks are supposed to be like.
Yeah.
See?
No, but look, he's a student of the game, dog. Like this is this is also somebody with an unnamed like production bombada entity.
Yeah.
That came in off love that said no.
Yeah.
The importance of that, man.
It's good to be
incredible.
But he was in the know to say no, though, dog.
Well, I read my mom bought me this book called All About the Music Business.
Donald Passman.
Yeah. And so I read that a lot. And then
like literally anybody getting into the music game, whatever you want to do in it, you should at least read that once. That's a music Bible.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And then too, I was always hungry, not thirsty. And my mom always told me.
Right, guys, I'm leaving again.
Guys, we're shutting the podcast down. We'll see you guys next year. We're taking the year off. That was it. We're just going to play that on loop. We're just going to keep that on loop and release that every week. Just that line.
Yeah. 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 Wow. So, that's probably why I never like took like weird, crazy ass deals. And I never like, I was just like, you know what? I know I'm dope and I know I'm talented enough to get me here. So if you don't mess with me because I won't do this badass deal or do this situation, then somebody else will, and
well, it's so important to do that early on. I mean,
yeah.
From the mass amount of people and musicians and artists and writers and producers that I've seen who get in the game thinking that you just have to like take the bad deal just to get in the game. And
they take the first thing that they get flashed in front of their face.
They're so desperate and they think that's just what it is because the reputation of the music industry is like, oh, well, everyone does this. This is like your rite of passage. You get screwed in your first deal.
You're not going to do this for this shot.
But the mass importance of being educated and holding on to your rights. I mean, look, I have a publishing company. Like, I understand the importance of your rights and what that really means. That's your intellectual property. Those are things that are going to be with you forever.
Right.
Understanding that value early on is, I'm so impressed with that for you, because being young, being hungry, literally and figuratively,
straight up,
being broke, and already knowing what the bottom feels like and experiencing that and being like, ooh, that was really bad. I never want to go back there again.
Word.
And you still say no. It's like, that's a pretty powerful thing, man.
Yeah,
seriously.
Man.
That's a level of grit beyond belief, though.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Because it could have gone the other way, and you gotta, in this day and age, especially in music, you gotta stand up for your rights and what you know. And more importantly, you have to believe in yourself and your talent. And, and the fact that you said, man, look, I'll sell this to someone else.
Yeah.
Was just a testament to your confidence in you.
Right.
And it even goes back to when you're talking about growing up in sports, like, you're always going to be better, always going to be greater, always excel in what you're doing.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
It's that same quality in this scenario that, all right, if it's not going to be you, this will happen. It just happen in another way.
It'll happen with somebody else. Yeah. So that's always my mentality. Like, the music is good. It's going to get out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this.
Absolutely.
I was just like, I know how good I am. And I was more humble about it after like all the stuff that happened. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, well, if you don't, I'll sell it to somebody else. It's all good. So
it rarely works out like that too, though, because bigger artists can leverage. They're like, look. Like,
well, he could have literally just stole the song and put it out and say he did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's just no way you're gonna fight that, or even have the money to fight that. That's just how it works.
So with the help of the guy that introduced the song to him, who later became my manager, and then Akon just being a real stand-up guy and a just fucking.
But I think it's also a testament to Chubby's relationship with Akon.
Shout out to Chubby.
Because had this have been like, oh, okay, cool, I heard this cat's thing from the street, like, it wouldn't have been a relationship. But at the same time, you got a dude like Chubby that has become this force and has always been a very connected dude.
Chubby is out here.
Right? But like, it's one of those scenarios where, goddamn well Akon has come over on artists as when he was coming up, he probably got come up on as well. But because of the relationship of a figure, like shout out to representation here also, right? Because you had a lawyer that told you he would walk if you took this deal. Oh yeah. That in and of itself is like, okay, fuck, like, okay. Like
shout out to that lawyer.
All the Donald Passman in the world would not have gotten like stronger men through that, right? And then you have a cat like Chubby that has a relationship with Akon to the point where, unbeknownst to you, it's not one of those scenarios where Akon's gonna pull up over on you. It's like, if we got him, we got him. But then it comes out like, damn, like this kid, Chubbs, like this kid that you brought me this record from is about his shit, and I kind of fuck with him.
Right. Well, Chubby introduced me to this guy named F.A. F.A. is introduced me to Akon.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, yeah, shout out to all Chubby and F.A.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And like you said.
But the plug was plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you
Morpheus
said,
took you into the Matrix, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And luckily, Akon, like you said, was a stand-up guy and didn't just like steal it. Just was like, recognized that quality in you and respected it.
Yeah. Especially when he found out I was from St. Louis, because he's from St. Louis too. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. He still got family like right down the street from my mama. So yeah.
And it's crazy that you'd be willing to like, cause like I even hear from people these days, like that back then was a thought. Even now it's even worse, right? Just to see like the divide of people that want to get on in the game and are so unwilling to let their music go out in a scenario like that. Right. Unless it's like guaranteed.
Right.
And unless it's like through these channels.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what they teach you in entrepreneurship. Like if you have an idea, talk about it. If you have an idea, put it out there, because if somebody's really going to steal it, then they would have been able to do it anyways. You're not brand new to this fucking game.
Right.
Your song isn't the only song that's going to come up, but if it moves somebody and the cards play right, you're eventually going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came in an opportune moment for you.
Yeah, man. So that little song that I made in my bedroom, you know what I'm saying? He changed it from incredible to beautiful, and changed a couple words to make it. He added some cuss words and stuff in there. But you know, that was the last song to make his album, because he was done with his album till he did that song. That was the last song to make his album, and then he put it on there. Swag. Yeah.
I'm gonna let this play for a second though. You know, he made the song called "Beautiful." You know what I mean? I mean, from every record he tells me, I'm gonna take it as that. He made the song called "Beautiful." I mean, it's just,
wow. Yeah, that's my vocals doing that too.
That's you do the ahs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he just made it. Hey, yo, he just made the song called "Beautiful." I mean, no, you know what I mean? And he wanted this for 5K, dog. You feel me? Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Playing that song at my wedding.
Word. You should.
Off rip.
People have done that and sent me the video. This is always
you're getting the video.
That's
yo, crazy. That is incredible though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. So like literally, you know, I'm still hungry and broke as hell. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get my production fee from the label for that beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how labels be. So like, so then the album came out like December 2nd, 2008. And that was like, I think I cried like so much, like a little bitch that day, like all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause my only other album credit was the Huey album. And,
wait, did you eventually get your producer fee? Did you eventually get your producer fee?
I never got the producer fee to this day, but since Akon made the song a single, I got a lot of royalty checks.
Oh, you got your points.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
you
So like,
just had to wait for that pub to turn around.
Yeah, we had to. Well, I went and got an advance on that pub.
Did you get? Were you a writer on it?
Writer and producer.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I produced the song and I wrote the song.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's two royalties there.
Yeah.
It became beautiful.
Yeah.
And then shout out to CSAC for collecting
shout
that
out
radio.
to CSAC. And so the album came out in December, and then we shot the video. He was like, "Yo, we going to LA. We going to shoot the video." So we went to LA in January of 2009. Shot the video. That's my like second time in LA. That was my first time in LA after I got kicked out and was living on the streets. So I came back to LA.
Oh, you came back.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
He came back like this with no suitcases. Just
no, literally, I didn't have a suitcase because I didn't have no clothes.
Yeah.
So I came back to LA. I was like, man, it feels good to be back here in a different light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was just a blessing, you know, like I give all honor to God for that, because like I could have let that moment defeat me. You know what I'm saying? The first time.
Where were you at with your mom right now in this?
My mom's team J, team John, team Jaylien till death. You know what I'm saying? So she's always supporting. Like she would give, like I had too much pride though. Like she would know when I was like super hungry though. She'd be like, "Yeah, are you eating? Like, come on, are you eating?"
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Mom, you could put $50 on my account.
Yeah. For real.
So, so my mom was always like there, and I just never, and she makes really good money, but I just never wanted to use her because I like put myself in that position. So I was just like, like.
It made you appreciate it more though.
Yeah.
And and I feel like, whatever it was within you, it made the fight more real.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's so many people with more fortunate scenarios that don't have the grit. You know what I mean? Like I found myself through something very similar in that, although mine spanned fucking 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's incredible to know that in your mind, and to be honest, like even when I was going through that, my mom would hit me like, be like, "Look, we're not going to talk about your career. Let's just get food."
Right.
And I'm like, I'm at my friend's house in San Diego. Sorry.
Right.
Knowing that she knows goddamn well who the fuck is going to San Diego with no money.
Right.
But it's incredible that you've been able to take so much ownership of your life and the choices that you make, which is a very beautiful thing. How old were you at this point?
21, turning 22.
That's beautiful, man.
So I'm 20.
So you're going through these like blap periods of just like complete up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
Fucking Chick-fil-A,
that's the story of my life.
McDonald's,
then
FedEx.
Another important thing, me and my daughter's mom broke up in 2008.
Wow.
For good. And that's part of the reason why I moved to Atlanta too.
Wow.
So I was, so she was like, "You're broke. You're never going to make it. Wow. You got this dream. You're a deadbeat dad.
That was a
you
blessing.
Don't make no money. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to move to Atlanta and just be broke and blah, blah, blah." And like, she was just like down, just down me the whole time. So when I got that first check, man, I rubbed it in so hard.
You better have. You better have, dog.
Yeah, so, but no, it was like out of love,
Absolutely.
Like,
no, because now you can
like,
provide for your daughter.
It was that I told you so moment. Yeah. To my stepdad, to my daughter's mama, to like anybody else.
How was that moment though?
That was great. It was
your
like,
mom had to be the proudest.
My mom was like, "See, I told you he was going to do it." Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good just to see everybody like, because it was something that they could be proud of. And it was something like nobody in my family's ever done. Like have a song on like top 40 radio like all the time. Like you know what I'm saying?
Song,
like
it's a song called Beautiful. It took over the fucking world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was lit. Yeah. So that moment was good. And then when we came back to LA to shoot the video, that was my first time back in LA after all that negative stuff. So it was just dope to be back out here and like just in another light, you know what I'm saying? And like, and just be where we staying at the SLS hotel. Like when I was sleeping behind the SLS hotel.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude. Yes. Now you're staying.
You took a fucking gorgeous shower in the SLS hotel.
Man, and they got their own like, fragrances and everything. It was dope. It was dope. I was like, damn.
Did that cross your mind? Were you like, man, I was like a few years
I told Akon, no, it was like like 2 years before. I was like, yeah, man, I was sleeping outside just right behind here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just dope to like be in that situation. And yeah, it was a movie, man. Like it's literally a movie. Every time I came to LA, I felt like I was in a movie. Because it was just like fast.
One way or another.
Yeah. It was like fast life and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was Akon beautiful video shoot. And then that's when I heard it was getting service to radio. And then they started playing it like in March. And then it just went everywhere. And I signed my deal. I signed my deal with Universal like a month or two later. And I got that check. I cashed that check. I went to Rodeo. First thing I bought was a Louis duffel bag.
Nice.
That was the first thing I ever bought, with my money. And then I bought a Louis wallet, which I still have right now.
Incredible.
in my bag.
Incredible.
And yeah, and then I sent my daughter's mom like a gang of money. I sent my mom a gang of money. Just took care of the fam.
Incredible.
Yeah, and the shit. I just rented a house out here for like a few months.
Yeah,
just out here just living. Yeah. I blew through that money. That was you know,
it sounds like it, but still, that's lit.
But I took care of people first.
Straight up.
Yeah. And
but that's the beauty of not having it and then coming into a significant amount of money. Right?
Yeah, like literally the day before I was hungry. Then the next day I had like six figures in my book bag. You know what I'm saying? Like 6 figures cash in my book bag. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I gotta get a better book bag. This shit's from Target. So I bought a better bag.
Yeah.
And it was lit, man. It was lit. And then from then on, like that whole year, 2009, was just like, it's like a blur almost, because it was just like moving so fast. I was already like cool with Red One, who was doing Gaga.
Yeah.
And Gaga blew up in 2009.
Yeah.
So, and you know, she was signed to Akon. And so then T-Pain blew up in 2009. So 2009 was like a crazy ass year. Like Red One came up. I remember Red One sleeping in a 1-bedroom apartment with his mattress on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And then he went and had like 3 number ones.
He went and had fucking...
Yeah, he had a crazy year. So everything was like all good in the convict family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a dope moment. And I literally was like I was with Akon like 24/7, just like on the tour bus, at the shows.
And that was like a movie time.
Yeah, it was a movie. I got to see my song perform every night in front of different crowds and like stuff like that. And it was just like surreal. And I was like, sometimes he let me be the hype man. Other times I was the dude in charge of getting girls. Ringing them in. It was just like a dope experience, because literally the year before I was hungry in my Atlanta apartment, like trying to figure it out. So it was like a dope, like it wasn't quick, but it was like a dope like turn.
Complete
and like
fucking 180.
Yeah, it was like a mama we made it moment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
And so that whole year was just dope. And I worked with Red One a lot and worked with other artists and worked with Akon, and just really just absorbed like what it was like to do it on the highest level with like some of the most talented people in the world.
Yeah.
And it just really was confirmation that this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the ups and downs were, no matter what the door slammed in my face were, and like how bad the opposition looked, it was like, you know, you got to have that tenacity, and you got to have that like no plan B. I didn't have no plan B. Like I said before, I only had plan A. Even at the moment where I had quit, I knew it was only temporary. I was just hurt. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it was a reset.
Yeah. I had to like refocus. And so yeah, that was a great moment. The whole 2009, 2010, you know, we were just working, just traveling and working with like different artists. And I got really cool with I met this guy named Randy Phillips at the SLS on the elevator, and at the time he was like managing Michael Jackson, and so he asked me, he's like, "What are you doing here? Like, where are you going?" I was like, "I'm going to a video shoot." He was like, "Oh, what video shoot?" And he knew what I was talking about because he was going to the same one. Yeah. And so I was like, "Oh, this Akon and Lionel Richie video shoot." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up." He's like, "I manage Lionel Richie." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "What do you do?" I was like, "I produce with Akon." He's like, "Oh, okay. Did you produce the song?" I was like, "No, I didn't produce that song." He's like, "Oh, okay, nice." He's like, "Well, you got a really cool spirit." He's like, "If you ever need anything, like, you know, like, just keep in touch, blah, blah, blah." You know, so he gave me his phone number. I was like, "Who's Randy Phillips?" I didn't know, like, how important he was. I know he was, like, the president of AG Live. I didn't know, like, he was, like, co-managing Michael Jackson and, like, all this other stuff. So, like, yeah, man, like, these was, like, my homies. You know what I'm saying?
Insane.
Yeah, and, yeah, me and Randy got real close, and his partner David and stuff like that. And so when I moved to LA, because it was getting expensive, like coming back and forth all the time, and like realized I was blowing through a lot of money. So I was like, I need to probably get out of here. So I'm in Atlanta, and I found out that me and my manager's doing some like shady stuff. And we're getting into it, and you know, like the first year 2009 was great. 2010 was cool.
Was the manager we spoke of earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. But then I'm wondering, Beautiful ain't on the charts no more. You know what I'm saying? I got money now, but it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why I don't have like people beating my door down. Why I don't have like, just like my phone ringing off the hook like Red One does, and like everybody else like doing well, how their phone is, and I'm not in sessions all the time, and I'm like signed Universal Publishing, and I'm like, what's going on? But I found out that my manager at the time was like blocking a lot of stuff. He didn't want me to like excel, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's weird,
Really?
Like he would keep me away from Randy Phillips. He would keep me away from Akon. He would try to keep me away from Akon, but me and Akon had like a personal relationship. He would keep me away from Red One. He would keep me away from like different people, and I'd be like, yo,
Really?
like what's going on? Yeah, it was real weird. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand it. He would try to control me, and he would tell me like, you're stuck with me, you're signed to me, you never leave, blah blah blah. He started getting like real crazy.
It became like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I heard through the grapevine that he would block a lot of stuff because he was scared I would leave him for like Randy Phillips or our powerful manager or something like that.
Wow.
And so he didn't. But to me, it didn't make sense because I'm like, if you're my manager and if I excel, you get 20% or whatever your percentages.
If you make us pop, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
We popping. But like, I guess the fear and he has some stuff going on within himself that he, I don't know, that just made him fearful that I would leave him. So my career didn't go like the way it was supposed to go in that regard.
Wow.
And so I got
the one time that the vessel or the decision maker deters you.
Yeah. So then we went through like a legal situation.
That's brutal.
And my money stopped coming, and I'm in Atlanta, and everybody around me stopped talking to me, like all the important people in my life, because I was affiliated with my manager at the time.
Wow.
Because he had screwed them over, or played them, or like stole money, or took credit for something that he didn't do, or something like that. So I couldn't get Randy Phillips on the phone. I couldn't get Akon on the phone. I couldn't get this person on the phone, that person on the phone. It's like all these people that had cut me off, and I didn't know.
Production studio for the second time.
And I didn't know why until like later. They're like, it's your manager. He's like lying, and he's like stealing, and he's like doing this and this and that. And so I was like, whoa. So
and you're in the dark.
Yeah, man. I'm in the dark. I didn't know. And I was young. I was like 22, 23, 23, whatever. And so I'm like, man, this dude's fucking my life up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to like do more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm here now. Like I want to do more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We just came up to the mountaintop. We're not going to just fucking roll back down.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like where's the helicopter at?
Where's my landing pad? So, so I went through a really hard time. Like, and this was like 2010 going to 2011. And I was just like, man.
Bro, like you said earlier, up, down.
It's always up, down. That's the story of my life. So, I'm in Atlanta, and I'm like struggling, like, and I'm like, damn, how am I struggling? And I had this like so much success, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's almost harder to grapple with than not
having it at all.
Yet.
Yeah. Having it and not having it is way worse. You know what I'm saying? But it humbles you, and I think that's where you build character. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time for a moment I was feeling myself.
I feel you.
And I was wearing Ray-Ban shades and fucking like Tom Ford glasses everywhere. Like I was feeling myself and stuff. I was on tour and just like
you were seeing all of the exquisite things.
I was dating exotic women and models and all types of stuff. I was newly single and newly with money, and I was just like doing the crazy stuff. So I think that deflation really helped me. As much as it hurt me, I think it helped me more.
It grounded you fast.
Yeah, because it let me know that you can have it all, and it can be taken away from you too, just as quick as you got it. And so with that, I was like, okay, cool. There's definitely a lesson I need to learn in this, and I need to just be more chill. You know what I'm saying? And just appreciate stuff more. And I need to get away from this guy who's my manager. This dude's crazy. He's messing my life up. So I was like behind on my rent like 3 months or whatever. I had an eviction notice on my door, and I was just like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying, like trying to figure it out. And then my money was froze up because of this legal situation. I was just praying, and I was just depressed, and I was just like, man, how do I get out of this situation? I got to get out of here.
Yeah,
I was like, I got to get out of here. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how this happened, but the next like pay period for publishing came around, and I had like $25,000 in my account. I was like, what the hell? So I took that money. I paid my debt off that I owed at the apartment, and I canceled my lease early, and I moved to LA. I had to get the hell out of Atlanta, and then I used the rest of that to like get out my like management contract with homie. And then so I moved to LA October 2011, and I was like that's like my fresh clean slate. So,
wow.
Yeah. So now I'm here, and I moved with my best friend, the guy that was a singer.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was he doing the whole time?
He's still going out.
He was going out.
Was he still signed to Def Jam?
Nah, he was never signed. He told me that was a lie.
So he was like, he was at Sbarro's with you?
Nah, he was at this time he was singing and stuff like that, and we were doing this demo thing like that, demo and everything. And then at the time he got engaged when I was like on tour and traveling with Akon. So he was like living like the married life, and then he had him and his girl got pregnant.
Wow.
And so he was like living a very normal life.
Yeah.
So then when I took the move to LA, him and his girl broken up.
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
things in life be happening
at the same time, right? So they broken up, and he was living with his moms. I was like, bro, why don't you just move to LA? You can stay at my place. I got a 2-bedroom. I don't even know why I got a 2-bedroom. It's like, but you can rent the 2nd bedroom out and just pay me like, you don't even have to pay half the rent. Just pay me like $1,000, and like, you know, I'll pay the rest. And he was like, oh, for real? So like, you know, so I was just like, yeah, I'd rather move out there with my best friend and like be out there alone.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, we can start doing your music shit again and go hard. Then he was like, all right, cool. So he moved out. I moved out there first, and he moved out there like a month later or whatever. And we were out here in LA, and I started going hard with him. And once I got like the papers, or once I got like straight out my management contract, I started hitting up everybody again. I was like, yo, bro, y'all told me you can't mess with me because I'm tied to him. I'm not tied to him no more. What's good? I live in LA. Nice. And so one of the first people I called was Randy Phillips, and his partner David, and they helped me just get like, you know, small gigs. You know, they had asked me, have I ever done tour, like live shows? And I was like, no, I never did that before. So David was just like, I want you to make a show tape, but I want you to put like Cody Simpson. He's been working with this kid named Cody Simpson. I want you to put his tour together. Like, you put all his music together and like format it and make dance breaks and intro, outro, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I did this for like my high school. I never did this for like no sign act before. Like, it can't be that hard. So yeah, I started working with this kid named Cody Simpson, this little fresh kid from Australia.
Cody Simpson.
Yeah.
And
this little homie.
Yeah, he was like 14. He was like a little kid. He's like 13, 14. And I started going to his rehearsals every day and working with him, and the choreographer at the time was a dude named Ed Moore, and he was like Usher's choreographer and a bunch of people. He was doing Cody Simpson, and he came from Usher. Usher's tours were through AEG, so that's kind of how that whole thing happened. So I just was doing like show creations for him and creating his shows, and then he went on tour with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber was coming up. So every I didn't go on the tour when they went to like Brazil and did like the world tours and all that stuff, but I would watch it online, and just like, it was dope just to see like something I made in my laptop, like being around like 50,000 screaming girls.
Insane.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to that laptop.
Yeah, shout out to the laptop, man. I've actually had like 5 Mac laptops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still got them all too. They all in my storage. But yeah, so when that's the first thing I did when I moved to LA. I started working with Cody Simpson with AAG, and I did like his show tapes, stuff like that. And then obviously his career grew, and then Randy was like, you know, they do like the tours for like Taylor Swift, Black Eyed Peas, for, you know, Lady Gaga, I mean, Lady Gaga's with Live Nation actually, but I think she did do an AG Live tour. So they're like hella connected, and I think Randy and the Black Eyed Peas manager was really close, and they're like, we got this girl named Cheryl Cole in LA, and if you got some songs for her, you should give her some songs, or you should send them to me, and I can send it to her manager. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So me and my best friend, we went and made a couple songs, and they liked this one song, and I did it for Rihanna, but they liked this one song, and so I gave it to her. So me, my boy Prince Charles, and my boy Cam, we went in the studio and we just like made songs for Cheryl Cole. And shout out to Prince Charles, he wrote that Rihanna Needed Me. It's #1 all over the place.
Wow.
But yeah, me and Prince Charles and Cam, this is where we was all like still in the grind. And
stuff.
We worked with her, and I was like, me getting back into it and like working with other people.
Yeah.
And then so I'm in the studio working with her. I think I did like 2 or 3 songs on Cheryl Cole. And I didn't know that she was signed to will.i.am in the States. So Will came in to listen to the records. We were working at the record plant, and he came in and listened to the records. He's like, who did this beat? And then they all pointed at me. He was like, oh, dope. So we played the second song. He's like, damn, who did this beat? And they all pointed at me. He's like,
that's so lit.
And Will was like, oh, man, you dope. He's like, man, when you get done with this session, come in my studio. I'm in the other room. So I was like, all right, cool. So me and my best friend, we're like hella happy. We're like geek, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we couldn't wait for her session to get over with. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, no knock to her. She's great. Cheryl Cole, I love you.
No, but it's just one of those moments where you're just over there sitting just like.
Right. So we're at a record plant, and she's a woman. She's tired. She needs her sleep. She needs her beauty rest and stuff like that. So she leaves the studio like
the gods of above.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and she was a beautiful person, incredible artist.
Absolutely.
I had a crush on her. And we made some cool music. And so then we go to will.i.am studio. He's playing us his new shit. I was like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. I love will.i.am. I love Black Eyed Peas. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's another one who's like a dope producer, writer, records himself. He records with the mic right up here, like at the desk, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, that shit is lit. Like,
awesome.
So like I look up to people who could like do it all like that. And yeah, we just got real close. Me and will.i.am, and my best friend, he would go out and party and be like, man, just call me when Will gets to the studio. Like, I ain't waiting on that dude, because Will would be like, come to the studio at 7. We'll get there at 7. He wouldn't come till like 10.
Yeah.
So we'll be at the studio like literally waiting for him a lot.
Shout
out to this dynamic.
Shout out to your friend who's going out while you're just making music. Always like coming from the Atlanta days. Like, all right, I'm gonna go out. You just do that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
You need that.
Is this friend the current Blessing C partner?
No. This friend actually, he just got married like 2 weeks ago. I went to his wedding in Koreatown.
Respect.
Shout out to him. But yeah, so I'm at the studio every day. I'm like, man, I ain't missing this opportunity. And I lived on La Brea and Wilshire. And right where they built that big ass apartment complex.
That corner.
Yeah, I lived right behind it. I lived on 8th Street.
Okay.
So we lived there, and I would walk to the record plant every day. That was on like Santa Monica and La Brea. So I would just take Sycamore and just walk all the way. I don't know how many miles that is, but I walked every day because I didn't have a car. You know what I'm saying? And and there was no Uber yet. Yeah. And Beverly Hills taxi was way too expensive.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the light blue taxis?
Of course, yeah.
So, yeah, I would walk to the studio every day to work with Will, and I would just be there. You know what I'm saying? Even if he didn't tell me to come back, I came back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just needed to, you know what I'm saying? Just be, if I had access to somebody like that, I was there all the time. That's why I was with Akon all the time, because I had access. So not a lot of people get this access. You know,
and
like,
you also know that it can be taken from you at any moment.
Yeah. So I was just always at the record plant, and then we were just making songs. We made a lot of songs, and one of those songs became Scream and Shout, and that was another one, and that. Yeah, that was a moment. And then that was 2012, 2013. I was sitting at home just chilling, screaming shouts all over the radio and shit. I'm sitting at home chilling. And then my homegirl calls me and she's like, hey, Jaylien, can you make black music? I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm black. What are you talking about? You talking about, can I make black music? She's like, yeah. I mean, you know, like rap, like R&B, like, you know, like some real soul shit. I was like, damn, people really think I'm this pop guy. That's crazy. I came from church and like, I'm black. You know, like both my parents are black. So I was like, yeah, I can make black music. She's like, okay. She's like, I'm at Simone's house, and Todd's talking about, you know, just he needs producers and he needs music, and you know he wants to work with new people. And she was like, and the only people I know is you and Eric Hudson. She's like, so I'm gonna call Eric Hudson. Eric Hudson did Flashing Lights for Kanye. He's really dope. And she's like, I'm gonna call Eric Hudson and see, because you know I know he knows how to do it, and see, you know, I'm gonna see where he's at. So she called Eric Hudson. Eric Hudson's in fucking Vegas working on like a Tyrese album. And he's like, I won't be back in Vegas for like I won't be back from Vegas for like another week. She's like, oh, LL wants to work now. And so he's like, oh, my bad. I'll be back. Tell him, give me another week. So then she calls me. She's like, yo, you got can you make some songs? And I was like, yeah, man. She's like, all right, I'm going to put you on the phone. So she passed LL Cool J the phone. And then he's like, yeah, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to, cause she's a stylist. So she styles his wife and stuff like that.
I would have died at this phone call. I love LL, like huge fan.
Yeah, I was just got used to all that stuff. So she put him on the phone. She put him on the phone, and he's just like, yeah, man. So you know, I want to go. You know what I'm saying. I can hear him like licking his lips and stuff.
For real.
He's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know, I just want to make some music, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like kind of like my old stuff, but like some new stuff. You know what I'm saying?
For real though.
You know, so you just put together some ideas, you know, and then just send them to me, you know what I'm saying? If they dope, you know, we'll just figure it out, you know? Just I'll give you a call, you know. So just, you know, give you like, you know, a couple days, a week, you know, and just get back to me, all right? I'll text you my email address. I was like, all right, cool. Man, as soon as he hung up the phone, I made 2 songs like in an hour. And then I texted him to him and I emailed him to him.
That's so fucking lit.
Then he called me back. He's like, yo, these joints is crazy. He was like, yo, can you come to the studio like tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So went to the studio and we did it. With the first one we did, I had Miguel in mind for the hook. I did a beat and I wrote the hook too, and I sang the hook on it. And I had Miguel in mind for the hook. And then we sitting there. He did his rap verses with me on the hook. And then he's like, so who you hear on this? We listening to it. He's like, who you hear on this? I was like, Miguel. He's like, all right, that's dope. What do you think about Brad Paisley? I was like, what?
Wow.
You went from Miguel to Brad.
Wow.
Paisley,
Yeah. I was
Wow.
Did you hit him with the like, wait, what?
I know I had to have a confused face. I don't think I said nothing, but I was like, I think I said like, why Brad Paisley? But that's what he wanted. You know, that's what he liked. That was his first suggestion. So then literally like 2 days later, Brad Paisley's in the studio.
Yo, Miguel.
Yeah. But he killed it, and it sounded hella dope.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Lit.
And so that was the first song we did. It was me, Brad Paisley, and LL Cool J.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? And so then he was like, can you do another song? You want to do another song? I was like, yeah. Like, let's do it. Then it just turned out I like did all the songs on his, like not all the songs, but maybe like 80% of the songs on the project. And then he asked me to redo like some beats that he already had did that were like produced by the Trackmasters, who I love. They did all of them like legendary joints. Yeah. So I was like, yo, I got some co-production with some Trackmaster joints. That's you know what I'm saying?
What it feel like for you to be like redoing tracks of guys that you looked at as legends?
Man, it was a blessing. It was another blessing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fucking blessing.
Especially someone like like.
And he trusted me. He took my.
Also, like I feel like is used. You know, you're around so many people, but LL is just like such a legend, you know. Like he's such a part of music history and the culture, and like
man,
this is LL. Like,
I don't want to watch the Grammys if he ain't hosting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, and the respect just is LL. You gotta love him. You know?
Yeah, he's an incredible guy too, man. He's like,
that's great.
He's like humble And he like kind of was like, I won't say doubting himself, but like we'd be in the studio and working and stuff, and he'd be like, "You think that's cool? Like, is my flow good?"
Because every artist goes
Don't
through
tell me
cycle.
that. Don't tell me that.
No, but look.
No. It wasn't like.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but every artist goes through their cycle,
course,
right? Like
yeah,
especially
yeah.
when you had like such a prolific career. And again, I'm gonna shout you out again because we're giving everybody props here. I'm gonna shout you out. There's a reason you got called in the studio, dog. You sent him 2 blappers in an hour.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, all right, yeah, you know, I'm gonna just.
And I had just bought like a mic.
Let time pass.
Yeah.
Like you literally like what? Cool opportunity. You
Own
hit
it.
it. You were feeling it in the moment. It was kind of like, holy fuck, you saw it.
Yeah.
You've been doing this. You were equipped for it.
Yeah.
And you rose up to the occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, it was dope.
Like you could have easily waited a couple of days, sent these records, but then 6 other producers had them like 2 days later.
Well, I didn't want Eric Cousin to get back in town.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You came in right strong, boom, and caught that ear.
Yeah.
But it's like, man,
Shout out to my girl Crystal.
Shout out to Chris, for real.
His tenacity, like through all this too, just like the relentlessness that you
Yes.
have of just like keep pounding the.
I mean, my
fucking
guy,
pavement,
there's no
like,
fallback. So, like, what you falling onto?
But it's like
Yeah.
constant everything, like from hitting everybody up 1 billion times. It's just like
Yeah, it was lit.
it's such a through line in your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't, like I said, no plan B, man. So it's like you got to make sure that plan A works.
That's incredible.
But yeah, so yeah, we're in the studio. I think we locked in for like he did the Grammys. He hosted the Grammys in 2013, and then the day after we're in the studio. So we're in the studio like
Wow.
for all the February and March and like April.
Wow.
Yeah, we're just working on records.
Man.
And then it is funny because like you know how people like now a lot of people don't meet each other and like
Maybe
people gotta send
yeah.
records and like
Yeah.
man I sent this song to fucking Rick Ross. He sent me my verse back. It's just crazy. Like literally, LL had everybody come to the studio.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So like I think the second person to come to the studio was like Charlie Wilson.
Yeah.
So I did 2 songs with Charlie Wilson and LL Cool J.
Legends, bro.
Yeah. And then I did a song with Charlie Wilson, LL Cool J, and Snoop Dogg. So I really felt like I was for real because I love Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I love Charlie Wilson and Snoop. So I was like, man, I'm on my Pharrell shit right now.
There you go.
So it was like, it was lit. And then I had a song with Monica on there. And then, a really, really cool moment. It was really 2 cool, 3 cool moments. Actually, the whole thing was dope. But Seal came to the studio.
Wow.
Fresh out. I had did another song with another hook. And like I always was singing the hooks. And he was like, who you hear on this joint? And I was like, I hear like, man, we got to get like Usher or somebody. He's like, I'm going to call Seal. And I was like, this dude is shooting all my ideas down.
But he's
Like,
but
no,
he
take me in a direction and let me go completely there.
but he's kind of countering you with something equally as strong though.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. It was just like, it was totally not the idea I had.
Oh, that's dope.
So like,
I'm
literally,
Seal.
he called.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That's a
dope.
leap.
So literally, he called Seal on the phone. He's like, "Hey man, I want you to get on this record." Blah blah blah. Seal was like, "Okay, I get back in town tomorrow." He's like, "I'll come do it." So literally, the next day, like Seal comes straight from the airport to the studio. Like he had his bags with him and everything. He came in, he listened to the song. It's called "Give Me Love." I did the hook and I wrote the beat. I mean, I wrote the hook and I made the beat, and he sang it and he killed it like in a couple takes. Like, he just killed it straight off the plane. And Seal was in the studio. It was a moment for me because I love Michael Jordan. I was like one of my like biggest idols, and I love the movie Space Jam, and I love Fly Like an Eagle. You know, like that's my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that song is like very near and dear to my heart. Wow. So I told him, I was like, man, you know, like I watched Space Jam just to listen to like Fly Like an Eagle a whole bunch of times. Like, you know, so that was like a moment for me, that was a real moment for me. And,
That's incredible, dog.
Yeah. And then another moment with that whole project was just really dope. In high school, I was in marching band. I did that for like 4 years. I was in the drum line. So I was like,
That just popped up.
oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
That's lit.
I played the quads. So like I'm in the drum line and I was like, you know, I was good. And
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, my friend.
Yeah. So we like won a bunch of drumline competitions and stuff like that around St. Louis and like Missouri, like the region and stuff like that. And
I love that we were on basketball and making music, and you were like literally just straight drumline thugging throughout the state.
Yeah.
Then he wrote Thriller, and just
Then the moment after Seal came back, and it was like kind of one of those moments that brought back the reflective drummer in him.
Yeah. Well, because in high school, my favorite show that we did in drumline, or that I did in marching band, was when we played Earth, Wind and Fire. We played like Fantasy, and we played like all the legendary joints.
Do you want me to jump off my balcony right now, or like what? Like I fake left twice. Like, do I got to do a backflip and land on the grass down there?
Nah. Yeah. So like Earth, Wind and Fire is near and dear to my heart as well. And I grew up just listening to Earth, Wind and Fire, like Reasons and like all them songs.
Greatest,
me and my brothers. It was a movie that Jamie Foxx did. I don't know what it's called. It was like one of his movies that flopped, but it was really funny. And there's a scene in there where he like sings Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire, and then like so he's in a convenience store. The convenience store gets held up at gunpoint, and like so all the people are in the convenience store, and they're like don't know what to do and shit. And like the people are like outside, and so like Jamie Foxx is like lonely or like sad or something like that. So he starts singing Reasons. So then everybody in the convenience store who's held up starts singing Reasons with him. And it turns into like this group moment. So me and my brothers used to always do that, and because we listen to Earth, Wind and Fire all the time anyway. So yeah, Earth, Wind and Fire is like really near and dear to my heart. So I'm in the studio, and he's like, "Yeah, I got Verdine from Earth, Wind and Fire about to come in," and I was like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? And then they like all came in, like Earth, Wind and Fire is in the studio with me.
Wow.
And then like he's like Verdine is playing like the bass and like on my record and like asking me, did I do it right? Does this go right?
Wow.
Like, how do you want it?
By the
you
way,
want it like this?
Verdine White's like
Yes.
top 5 greatest bass players of all time.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, really?
Yeah. So that was definitely a moment.
Wow, humbling.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a moment. I was so nervous that I didn't even pull my camera out that day. I got a lot of this stuff on video. Like with my MacBook. I just had my MacBook set up.
I feel you were like,
yep. But that day I was like real nervous because I was like, oh man, this is like some legendary stuff.
It's just sounding right.
Yeah.
You're like, what, just whatever you want to do is cool with me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. They were all asking for direction. Like, and I'm just like, I'm still like, I'm not a kid at this point. I was like 26, 27, 26 or whatever, but it's just like weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are like my idols and stuff like that. So
that's on some outer bodiness.
Yeah, that was dope. So yeah, so that was a great moment. And then like, I'm a huge like Michael Jackson fan. Like Human Nature is probably like my favorite song of all times. And like, I love like the whole Thriller album and the whole like I love everything. The whole Bad album, A Stranger in Moscow. Like I love like everything Michael done. Like you know, the way he make me feel, like all that shit. Even the Rodney Jerkins records, like You Rock My World and all that stuff. So like, just Michael Jackson's like huge. So I'm in the studio again, and then LL does one of his surprises again.
Hey, shout out to LL Cool J, dog.
Who'd he ask you that you're not?
Well, this was just, he didn't ask me this time. This was just like, I'm sitting in there chilling. And mind you, like I just didn't know what this dude looked like. So like, he walked in the studio and he was like, hey Jay, I want you to meet Eddie. And I was like, what's up, man? He was like, yeah, he's going to play guitar on some of the songs. I was like, oh, okay, dope. And then I was like,
oh, stop it.
This is the Eddie that I'm thinking of.
Stop it.
Yeah. So then I'm like, wait. I looked at his wife. His wife, she introduced herself as, I think her name is Jamie, but her last name was Van Halen. And I was like, what?
I'm about to slap the shit out of
this
myself
Eddie
right
Van
now, dog.
Yeah. So he's in the studio with us. And he's
unreal.
And he played on like 2 of my records.
Oh my God.
And then it was just crazy.
I just love that LL is bringing in like the legends of legends. Like,
yeah.
And what's so cool about this is that, like,
you started from a phone call saying, "Yo, do you do black music?"
Shout out to Crystal.
Yeah.
For real.
But what's so special is that you're getting an opportunity to work with like this older generation, like the legends. It's not like you're necessarily contemporaries or
right.
Like it's the beasts of like greatness.
Yeah.
And they're playing on his record.
Yeah. It's just
like, this is from going in the studios in New York, knowing that you wasn't there, knowing that you're like, damn, I'm leagues behind here. I need to get better.
Right.
And you going in with a legend and having fucking icons brought in to play on your record.
Literal icons.
Like, you come full circle here.
And
by the way, everyone is like rock and roll
icon.
Hall of Famer. Like,
it's crazy because the Eddie Van Halen record, I kind of like played it out on synth, what I wanted him to do, and he like copied me. Like, so it was like dope. And then he like killed it and he added his own crazy stuff. But yeah, that was just like those were the moments.
Fucking insane. This had to be a whirlwind of a period for you, dog.
Yeah, that was it was like 2.5 months. So it was like, it was dope. And he paid me, and like, man, it was cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. He's a good guy, man. Like, that's somebody that I hold near and dear to my heart forever, man. He's incredible. Like, it's like a big brother. He taught me a lot about like just life and like running your own business and like stuff like that. So after like Scream and Shout, and after I did this LL Cool J Authentic album, I was just like,
it's just after LL's Authentic album, you know what I mean?
I was just like, man, I'm dope.
Yeah.
Humbly.
Yes.
Very humbly though.
There you go.
I was just like, man,
I don't give a fuck how humbly it was. You're dope. Yes, I'll be cocky, bro. You're fucking ill.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, like, what else can I do? Like, the only person I haven't worked with like is Hov and Beyonce. It's like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, you know, what else can I do to like just progress more? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I first took my first stab at like at being like a solo artist. Mm-hmm. So I started like making songs because literally all those songs were me on the hook, and then he just replaced it with somebody else. But a lot of times that he kept me in backgrounds or like whatever, you know. And I was telling them how to sing, and I was like, I might as well do it for myself. So I'm at a party. I'm dating this girl, and this girl, she brings me to this party with her, and I'm in the party and I'm in the kitchen, and this dude bumps into me, and I push him. I'm like, yo, dude, get the fuck off me, bro. You know? And I'm like, where are you going? And he has a camera in his hand, and I turns around, and it's my dude, this guy I know from St. Louis. His name's Steve. And I was like, Steve, what you doing here, dude? And he's like, oh, I moved here, man. What are you doing here? I'm like, I live here. And so we met at this party. Yeah, we met at this party, and then he did my daughter's first photo shoot. 'Cause I do a photo shoot for my daughter for her birthday every year.
Wow.
So I didn't know he was even living in LA. And so we saw each other at this party, and then we just exchanged numbers, and then that was around the time where I was like doing my solo music, and then he hit me up, and he was just like, yeah, that's how Bless and See started. So then he hit me up, and he was like, yo, bro, I heard the music you did on your SoundCloud. It's just dope. Like, you should shoot a video to that shit. I'm like, man, hell no. I'm just doing this shit for fun. Like, just to get this extra, like, creative energy off me. I got a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, nah, dog, you should really shoot a video. And I was like, you'll shoot my video. And he was like, yeah. I was like, to my song. And he's like, yeah. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. I mean, I guess. Why not? You know what I'm saying? So then we're like, once I shot my first video, I think we shot like 4. Like, we just went ham. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
And I was going hard.
From your daughter's first photo shoot to 4 videos.
Yeah.
And this dude bumped into you. You pushed up on him like a thug. Like, what's up? Watch what the fuck you going, dog?
Yeah, I think I had on like some all white Vans.
You don't know me,
like
bro. Don't scuff my shit. Wait, Steve? Dog, is that you?
Yeah.
What the?
That's lit. So that's kind of how we like came together and shit. And then and then we started this thing called Bless and See, and then like and then he was always like shooting girls, and a lot of these girls in LA, they come out here for one thing, but they end up doing another thing. You know what I'm saying? Or they come out here and they're doing one thing, but they really want to do something else. So like, and that's what I've noticed about women, or just people, period, like men and women. Yeah. But a lot of the girls, especially like all these models and stuff like that. So like, he worked with a lot of models, and he was doing these like videos in his apartment.
They have little creative expressions they want to get out too.
Yeah, if you will.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of these girls like can draw, and a lot of these girls can paint, and a lot of these girls are like really intelligent, and they're just out here, they're just lost. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these girls can sing, a lot of these girls can do all types of shit.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that he had like all these girls with these like hidden talents. And so he brought one to me, and he's like, yo, dog, I met this girl. He's like, man, we got to do something with her. She's dope. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, if whatever, it's all good. So it took him a long time to bring her to me. And then in the meantime, we were like dealing with some other girls that were like models but could sing. And it just didn't work out. Like, some just wouldn't be right, or they wouldn't be focused or whatever. So then he brings me this one girl, and he brings her to my house. And he literally had to beg her because she just didn't trust him. She thought he was trying to like
smash on her.
Yeah, smash. And he's like, man, I got a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't want that. I just want to like, I think you're a star. I think you're dope. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, I'm really not a singer. You know, I didn't come here to sing. She's an American Apparel model. And he's like, no, trust me. You need to meet my boy Jay. Trust me. And she just avoided him for like a long time. So I think he gave up, and then he started back harassing her again. And she was like, I think she just met up with me so he could leave her alone.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, look, if you meet with him and it doesn't go well, you can delete my number, and I'll never hit you up again.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So it was one of them moments. So he brought her to my crib, and she was just like the sweet, quiet, kindred spirit person, shy as hell. And I told her before she came, because we were texting, I told her, I was like, bring everything that you got, like creative wise, like if it's writing, if it's painting, whatever you got, like bring everything. So, excuse me. She brought like 7-8 notebooks of all just writing. She like writes like in these streams of consciousness. Like just she used to write like these long, just whatever came to her mind, she would just write it down. You know what I'm saying? So, we sit there, and she didn't know how to write a song. She never recorded before. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of taught her like song format, and taught her like how to write a song, and like patterns and like melody and like all that. You know what I'm saying? And I told her like all this writing in these notebooks, these are like songs. You just put these into words. You just gotta make it rhyme and stuff. And then sometimes they don't even gotta rhyme. It just gotta feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so we literally recorded her like very first song on my kitchen table, and it was called Pensive. And from that moment on, I was sold. I was like, man, fuck what I'm trying to do with my artistry. I'm about to put my shit on hold. This girl's gonna be there. She's gonna open up the doors for everybody.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that was when I called Steven that night. I was like, yo, Steven, I need this girl in my house like every day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, we just started making songs. And then I think like the third song we recorded was the song called Experience. And that was like just my favorite song. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like throughout the whole squad, like that was our favorite song. Like out of all the songs, she only had recorded maybe 3 or 4 or 5 songs, but out of all the songs, like Experience was like the one that everybody loved. It had this just ill bounce. And at the time, Lord was real big. And I was like, man, I got my own Lord, and she's way cooler. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that was like our first time, like, just having an artist. And like,
you were developing her.
Fully, from scratch. So
from stream of consciousness and 18 notebooks to fucking
making songs. We was making jams.
Experience.
Yeah. So then, Kanye West has this casting call for his Yeezus tour. And part of what he wanted for his girls, he wanted American Apparel models. So the girl I'm working with, Casey, she was an American Apparel model, so she got called in to audition, and then she made it as one of like the little Yeezus girls. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So, but this time we were going like really hard at recording, so it was kind of like bad timing. Yeah. Because she had to do all these long ass rehearsals, and then she had to go straight from rehearsal to just on tour. Wow. So in between rehearsals we would record, and in between rehearsals we recorded, and in between like her being back in town we would record. And so while she was on tour, we released this video to Experience, and we told her don't say nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because she was around like Ye and like all his boys and like you know, music people, Def Jam staff, all this stuff. We were just like, don't say nothing to nobody. Just release it and just keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And because Ye was always one person I wanted to get to. Like he's one person that I just had at a high level in my mind and in my heart, and I was just like, one day I got to get to this guy. So yeah, we released that video on Thanksgiving 2013. And that was a moment because I had got all these models that I knew, and I asked them for their username and password. That's when Instagram was just popping. I got their username and their password, and I was like, let me put this video. We have like this little 15-second clip of experience, and I was like, let me put this video on your Instagram. You got to keep it up there for 24 hours. I was like, and then you could change your password, you could take it down, whatever. But like,
that's
you know,
lit.
And so I think I had like all these girls' name written down. It was like me, Bobby Brackens, and Steven. And we had all these girls. Like he had girls, Steven had girls, Bobby had girls, I had girls, and we had all their Instagrams. And we just like had all their passwords. and there was no Instagram DM, so there was nothing like to look at.
Yeah.
So like so we took their shit and we posted the video on all these girls' passwords. I mean on all these girls' Instagram pages at the same time. So it was just like a blackout of just like Casey's face on everybody's Instagram. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And so we had the video link, and we put the video link in everybody's bio, the YouTube link.
Smart.
So that was like our guerrilla like marketing.
That was a full
I love that
guerrilla assault right there.
Yeah, and you know, all like
100%.
with all the women, our thinking was like, you know, all the women are like the tastemakers because like they get all the dudes, like you know, like all the dudes, all the powerful dudes follow bad bitches. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if your favorite bad bitch is posting this video and you're probably like, well, what's this? Like, why is she posting that?
And you see it on the other 6 bad bitches that you follow.
Right.
You're like, wait,
right.
what's this?
Right. What is this? So like that first night, I think we hit like a couple thousand views, and we're just like put it out just through our little network. You know what I'm saying? So like it was lit. And then like that first night, I remember Swiss Beats reached out. And he like wrote in her comments, he was like, yo, I never thought about having an artist, but if I did, it would be somebody like you. Wow. Right? So I was like, damn, we on the right path. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And we was just geek, you know what I'm saying? I was back at home in St. Louis, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I'm back at home in St. Louis. Casey I think she was in Phoenix, or maybe she was here, I don't know, but I know I was gone. So we were just like on cloud 9. Casey was on tour. I'm tripping. So boom, I go back to LA, and she gets off tour like I think on Christmas or a little bit after Christmas or right before Christmas. But we all made the decision because she's supposed to go back in like January or February. We all told her like, don't go back. We're like, you know, stay. Yeah. Stay. And like,
there's a lot of momentum.
Yeah, it's momentum now. It's people watching now.
Yeah.
We had people like offering her pub deals and stuff for writing and stuff like that. She never wrote us like them were her first songs. Wow. So it was like, it was crazy. So like, then we started having labels reach out. So it was like, okay, cool. Like this is just about to go. You know what I'm saying? We're just like stay. We're like we'll help pay for food and whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all good. So she didn't go back on the Yeezy tour, and then
you guys were supporting her lifestyle.
Not really supporting her all the way because she had checks from touring. Okay. But like, you know, just helping out.
Just being there.
Yeah.
Being the true developers that you were.
Yeah. She was good. She had that tour money. You know, and it's pretty good. You know, it's like, whatever. So, but you know, like, I just told her like if she needed anything, like we'd kick in, stuff like that. So, cause we was family, you know, like every day we was grinding. We was in the trenches. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't go back to the Yeezus tour, and then we're like taking meetings and it's Grammy time and stuff like that. And February 2014, she did her first show at the what's that place called? Viper Room.
Viper Room.
Yeah, she did her first show there.
Nice.
So what happened was this crazy story. Who was that? It's crazy. So Bobby Brackens, so this girl named Caroline, I'll get to that later. She was supposed to perform that night. She couldn't do it. She didn't have no music prepared. So she asked my boy Bobby Brackens, did he know anybody who could take her place?
Of course Bobby did.
Because Bobby was with us.
He had the experience.
Yeah. So he suggested Casey. So Casey got got the spot. So that was Casey's first show. So we called all the A&Rs that were reaching out. We called all our friends, all the models, all the people. We wanted it to be like a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And like everybody was already hyped anyway because she had like a crazy buzz online. So her first show was popping. You know, like the whole like all our network was there. And I was nervous as shit because it was her first time performing like live in front of people and shit. So she killed that. It was dope. You know what I'm saying? I think the Yeezy tour started back in February. And so then literally the next week we had a show lined up for her in New York during Fashion Week in New York City at this place called The Box. And we rented it out. We did our own. We put together our own like Fashion Week party. You know what I'm saying? We had Zendaya hosted.
Wild.
We had Nicki Diamonds. Nicki Diamonds paid for it. Shout out to Nicki Diamonds. That's the homie, man. So we had Nick pay for it, and he just was like, he just believed in what we was doing. So he paid for the party. He bought the bar out. You know what I'm saying? In true Nicki Diamonds fashion.
Straight the fuck up in true Nicki Diamonds fashion, dog.
He bought the bar out, and we had to step and repeat with the diamond logo and with the Bless and See logo. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lit like, you know, situation. And then we had Casey perform there, and we had some A&Rs come out and stuff like that. And it was just a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like it was her first two shows, one in LA and then another one in New York. And she skipped the Yeezy show. So meanwhile, we're in New York, we taking label meetings and stuff like that. And then we hear that we get back to LA and we hear that Kanye asked about Casey. He's like, yo, where's the girl? Like somebody said, now I don't know if this is true or not. This was coming from some multiple sources though. It's like, yo, where's Casey? Like, where's the girl with the big booty? Like she got a big butt for a white girl. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, where's the girl with the big butt? So, anyway, so make a long story short, one of the other dancers, like, oh, she's not coming back. And he's like, what do you mean she's not coming back? Like, you know, and then they're like, yeah, she's pursuing music now. Like she has her own music out. And he's like, Casey does music? What, she rap or something? Like she sing? Like what she do? So I guess somebody showed Kanye the video. Wow. And then Kanye went crazy and he's had everybody reach out to us. Wow. Yeah.
There you go.
So then Ye's reaching out. And so my phone's blowing up and Steven's phone's blowing up. Casey's phone's blowing up. And then, you know, he's having everybody reach out. So then we meet with Che from Good Music, Che Pope, and then she did the deal with Ye, and so Casey, she did her deal, and then, you know, she put out an EP like the following year, 2015. So, but I became less and less involved with that as she grew as an artist. She started working with other producers and like working with Rick Rubin and all these different people and doing a thing, you know, Jack Garrett and like all these different people. And, you know, for me, I just wanted to be in it just to see her grow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to hog the production and all that. I did it as a boss, as a CEO, just to like, you know, I want to have other artists. So some artists can grow.
You just kind of came in from that LL situation where he's kind of schooling you on the game of your own business and your entity. And do you think that played a role in the way your mindset was, or was it just kind of like that's at the time where you were in your, you know, in your being?
Well, he didn't play a role in my mindset as just having a label and have my own label and having my own artist, but he played a role in he's just a boss. Yeah, he's a boss. Like he runs everything. You know, like LL Cool J Incorporation or whatever. You know, like he runs everything. He runs. Don't nothing go down without him knowing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a manager and he has somebody who runs like his operations and stuff like that. But like he's really like
he's the decision
he's a
maker.
boss. Yeah. So I picked that up from him. Just be a boss.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And then people I look up to like Hove and like Puff and like Kanye. You know they're all bosses. They all got their own labels. They all got acts. You know what I'm saying? And they all are super involved in some way at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I just always looked up to people like that. Like I never wanted to do. I never wanted to just be a music producer. Yeah. I always wanted to like do a whole bunch of stuff and just like have a bunch of revenue streams and make sure my daughter was straight and stuff like that. So,
absolutely.
So, LL and just like looking up to like people with their own labels who were artists and who were producers and who were stuff. Even Timbaland, like he had fucking Nelly Furtado and Missy and Genuine and Aaliyah. And like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, just seeing that and Timbaland being one of my idols and then Pharrell having Robin Thicke and the Clips and like, you know, all that. So
it's how you develop as a producer.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
having people to build your sound around.
Yeah, you build it up.
Yep.
You know?
And then once they get to a certain point, they start working with other people and stuff like that. So I thought it was just a natural thing, like, you know. And then the relationship was a little strained after that too. So it's just like a natural thing. But so after that, I started developing another act. Steven brought in this girl named Caroline, and she was just, to me, she was just a fucking star. I was like, man, this girl's Lady Gaga. Like, if I ever seen it, you know what I'm saying? And so we started working with her, and she kind of didn't really have anything going on at the time.
Was she polished or unpolished?
She was polished, but she needed to be
rougher on the edges.
She's rougher on the edge. She needed to be tamed a little bit. So like she unlike Casey, she always wanted to be a singer.
Got it.
And she was like, matter of fact, you should probably have her do this show.
Would love that.
She's dope. She's on like Lead Daniel Star show right now. She's killing it.
Would love that. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
She's doing a lot of dope shit. She's big in fashion and everything. But yeah, so we got with her, and she didn't have much going on. And she's like, you know, I just looked at her and was like, yo, man, I already know what we can do. If we did what we did with Casey, I already know what we do when we get with you. You know what I'm saying?
You've done it before.
Yeah, you want to see, like, this is your only dream you've ever had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have this huge personality. I was just like, let's get it. So my boy Steve had the relationship with the people at Next Model Management, with Joe Wickenfield and Faith Cates and all them, and he hooked it up to where she got signed to Next, and they got like Rita Ora and Theophilus London, Pharrell, A$AP Rocky, and a bunch of people, so they know how to like brand the artist, a musician, and make them like a brand. So that was like our thinking with that. So we got her signed to Next, and they just immediately helped us out the gate, just get her like out there, you know what I'm saying? And man, she just took off like a rocket, man, like quick, you know what I'm saying? Like still I haven't even really put music out. It's just like, but she's like everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, so that was another one. So then after you know, working with her and working with Casey, I was just like, man, I'm doing this for everybody else. I need to do this for myself.
You got that itch again.
Yeah.
You got that itch again.
That itch is coming back. But now you're at a point where like you've done it. Like you've done the producer to the highest level.
Yeah.
You've developed 2 acts now.
Mm-hmm.
At a very
in one way or another broken.
Yeah. At a very, very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're coming into, I got that itch again, but you're coming into it with like
a lot of life experiences.
Yeah, now you're coming in as the G, as the boss.
And lightweight, Steven, like when y'all hooked up, like it became 4 videos of your SoundCloud joints.
Yeah.
So you kind of like itched at that, not really want to do it. It was like an expression point from the sideline, and then see these 2 girls and this opportunity to boss up.
Yeah.
And then have them transpire as they do, and then it just becomes the itch again.
Yeah. It was almost like proof of concept, man. Like you know what your ability is, and you know that it works. Yeah, and it like multiple times. Like, okay, like,
one time it could be a fluke.
But like multiple. Okay, this is actually like real. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So after I just seen like, you know, what I could do for other people, I was like, well, I need to probably use these same connects and these same stuff.
Do that for myself.
And do it for myself. So that's when I just kind of went back in my hole, and I just started just making music at the house, and I
back to the core. Yeah,
just on the kitchen table, man, just making more songs. And then I think the first song I released was like Hotel Costs, and me and Steve, we shot that video like on a random day. It's on Hollywood and Highland train station. Oof. And it was lit, man. And then ever since then, I told myself, because I had did it before and I tried to do it. Yeah, man. Super lit.
I'm just gonna let it build, yo.
Let it build.
We've come this far, haven't we?
We've come this far. I'll buy you everything. I'll get you anything. That's it. You won't need no money. You won't need no luggage. Everything new to get there. No, I ain't playing. Hey. Yeah.
I had to let that shit drop.
Oh, what does that feel like for you? Like going from someone who hated their voice at one point to
now I'm obsessed with my voice. I listen to it all the time.
Yes, we got there, Douchey.
Mama!
Yeah.
We got there.
Yeah.
Like, what does that feel like for you to do this as an artist, as a producer, the culmination of this, to see how far you've come, and this is where you're at?
I'm like a visionary, bro. I still feel like a lot of times I haven't done enough.
Better fucking believe it, dog.
Yeah.
So like where I'm at now,
it,
it's just like still feel like I'm at the bottom of where I want to be.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? So I
that,
feel like
man.
I got a lot of work to do to get to like. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do, even outside of music, just like in fashion and design, because I like drawing stuff like that. So it's like I want to like design hotels. That's a lot of stuff that I want to do with like the Blessing C brand and stuff that I just can't really do yet right now.
Yeah, the foundation set up for everything.
Yeah, yeah. So as excited, as dope as it is, I always just feel like I got more work to do. So.
It was great to see yourself back at the bottom, because it's like we talk about this a lot, where there's no like finite end point. Like people that you can get on the road to your journey and be like, I want to aspire to be this one thing,
right?
But you realize like as you get there, or as you achieve some of the goals, those goals change, they shift. You want to do other things, but you saying, I want to now be, I feel like I'm back at the bottom. It's like that's actually where you thrive in all this.
Yeah.
And putting yourself there among all these different like avenues is like it's almost that's where you need to be to become successful.
That's not the only, but I feel like the times where I felt like I made it, I slacked. So like I had to condition my mind.
It was taken away from you every time.
It's taken away from my creativity, taken away from like my drive a little bit. So now I'm just I'm at a place where I'm like, I'm just not there yet. I got way more levels to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think about none of the stuff that I've done. Like talking about it, I was just like, damn. Like I'm thinking in my mind, I was like, damn, I really did all that. Like I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think about that shit no more. Like that shit's old to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what am I doing now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's an incredible mindset to have, but it's
insane.
It's a testament. It's a testament though, dog, to the fact that every time you've had it and every like level that you've reached has been fucking ripped from you.
Yeah.
Right? So knowing and time again, and I'm gonna take it back to when your father passed, right? That was taken from you. Mm-hmm. You were going to treat your family as if they were the only things around because you realized that you can lose family also, right? Then career comes and craft comes and moments come and then it's taken and then opportunities come and it's taken. Like it's almost as if the only thing, it's almost like listening to your story as if the only thing that you have control of is how hard you work in the moment.
Yeah. And it's like the only thing I have control of is the thing I have the most control of is me. I can't leave myself. You know what I'm saying? So I just chose like in 2015 to not focus my energy on nobody else except myself.
Wow.
And even though I love to help people,
yeah,
but sometimes you can't really help people until you help yourself.
But sometimes that's the biggest way to help people is to help yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like I want to give people jobs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to make, I like helping people and I like giving people opportunities and stuff like that. But if I'm not in a position to where I can give somebody opportunity, then I'm not helping nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just like, after some stuff didn't go the way I wanted to, I was like, okay, I got to regroup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
And so now I think that's what kind of helped me, motivate me to like just focus on myself. And I had to just really believe in myself and be like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it to the best of my abilities, and I'm not stopping. I don't care how bad it looks. I don't care how low my numbers are. Yeah. I don't care,
no ego.
Nobody. I don't care how low my views are or how low my streams are, or if anybody ever sees it. One day they will. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna just keep releasing stuff until somebody sees it.
You better fucking believe that.
Yeah,
that's tough, man.
That's fucking gorgeous.
What's crazy is like, because you've achieved such a high level of success and worked with so many greats and seen that, to have, that's why it's crazy to even have that attitude and not care about like the number of streams, the number of views, the number of things. It's like, to be okay with that, like you have to drop.
They're late.
Yeah, you have to drop your ego.
What are the numbers when you know that they're gonna hear it at a certain time? They're gonna get it.
Yeah, they get it later.
You just gonna be fucking beyond that.
Yeah, that's how I feel now.
It's like going back to Akon. He's like, hey, if he doesn't sell that beat to Akon, he'll sell it to someone. Someone will get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why am I worried about what y'all think about me now? Like, just wait till y'all find out about me. I'll be fucking 10 leagues ahead.
That's
and then y'all have a plethora to look at.
That. Man, it's hissing that laptop, bro.
You feel me?
Yeah. So, yeah, but so I just it's just ever since then I just was like focus on myself.
How has this, I want to say, rebirth of the creative form of Jaylien Wesley been?
It's been really tight, man. It's been a struggle at the same time because obviously I'm like a quote unquote new artist and all that. So you gotta go through like the new artist struggle, and I'm an unsigned new artist, so you gotta go through the unsigned new artist struggle. So it's like
so crazy.
Everything
on the surface.
Yeah,
this is so crazy.
So it's like so essentially I am starting all the way over because I'm doing something I've never done before, really, and I have to like figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Even though I did it for other people, but at a certain point, it was like, especially with Casey, fucking machine came. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, then it's like my hands are free at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with myself, it's like I'm in it for real. You know, there ain't no like extra help. It's like me, my management, my two guys right here, and like fucking my attorney and my PR. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all self-funded. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's cool. It's cool. It's a good learning experience because I know eventually everybody's going to get it. Yeah. And I know eventually I'm going to be right up there with my name be mentioned in the same breath as all the people that I look up to as an artist.
Later, dog.
Yeah, as an artist. And I know that, eventually, very soon, like it'll be where I see it in my mind. Not all the way, but like it'll start to be there, and it'll be easier for shit to happen. Because your mind's gonna
grow from that point, so it'll never be how you see it now.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's fun to be like at the bottom and just like have to like fight your way up. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm like in the deep end, and I'm just like gotta swim up, and I can like see the light getting closer, but I still ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun because it's like I know you appreciate these times because I've been here before with production. You know what I'm saying? Where like I was struggling, fighting. It's
beautiful to me that you don't like. I've run across artists that like kind of resent the world because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you gotta take it for what it is. You can't resent. Like, I can see how that can happen, but at the same time, it's like if it was meant to be easy, then everybody would have it.
True.
It ain't for everybody to have.
Straight the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a fight. And if you listen to anybody's story, you know what I'm saying. The dream was telling me how he wrote Umbrella like he was living in his car or something like that. Umbrella changed his life. I think he said he's probably seen like $11 million off that one song. So like you can't. What you gonna be mad for? It's a struggle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody struggles. Everybody has a story.
Nobody's gonna give you anything.
Yeah, you gotta take that shit.
You gotta take that shit.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'll never be like resentful. Like I don't. Please believe I have like a list of names of people who shitted on me and people who like said no, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, do you hear this? Do you hear the same thing I'm hearing? Are my ears too advanced? Like, so. I don't forget. I won't forget, and they will, and I will bring it back to their remembrance. But then I'll like give them a hug afterwards or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I'm not. I'm not mad. It's just like, all right, I'll see you later.
I'll show you.
You'll get it later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It's more, yeah. But yeah, man,
What are you most excited about for the future?
For the future? Man, I've been working. I'm excited for people to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever since I released Summer's Over, July 15th last year, I've had like the production door open back up. You know what I'm saying? So I in the last probably, I worked with Chris Brown, I worked with Keisha Cole, Young Thug, I worked with Ty Dolla $ign, I worked with like people like, people that are killing, you know what I'm saying? So it's dope that, and then people reaching out for like songs and hooks and stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? I just gave some stuff to like Rocky Fresh and stuff. So like a bunch of people, man, I'm just trying to like just really expand and let people know like I make music for real. Like, and I can make any type of song and it's gonna be dope. And I want people to just eventually just be like, we can't have this album come out if Jaylien ain't on there in some type of way. Rather, even if it's just like, I want people to come to Bless and See and just be like, we want you to oversee the creative direction of this album, musically, sonically, visually.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where my mind is. So until I get there, I feel like I just got a lot of work to do. So I'm excited to just do more work with more artists. So
I appreciate the magnitude of the work that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But also know that I see it.
Yeah.
Like, all that's going to come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Better fucking believe it.
Yeah.
I respect your humble core and your humble nature, right? But I've kind of been big especially in this time in my life where I'm like, bruh, fuck humble, because humble is the work I put in. Humble is the hours that I spend doing what I'm doing. Humble is the vision that I have for everything beyond me. I don't need to be humble and telling you that I'm gonna take the fucking world that I want.
Yeah.
Straight up. I don't need to play into your weakness or insecurity. I don't need to play into like the what do you think game. As long as I can look myself in the fucking mirror and know that it's true, I don't give a fuck who I'm telling it to.
Amen.
Because if I tell my goddamn self I'm gonna take everything I want, who the fuck are you for me not to tell you that too?
Amen. Let him know, bro. Straight up.
New
said it. I didn't.
Off top. I'll say it for you. I've said it a couple times. When he's brushed off fucking like smash gargantuan records. You know? But I'll let you be humble, and I'll be the one that said, look, I'm gonna be Jaylien for a second. Yeah, the song was fucking beautiful, and it was fucking beautiful. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
For real. But my brother, look, like on some trill shit. Like this has been a moment in which I am truly beyond honored and humbled to have your story in this depth and this beautiful magnitude shared with us.
Yeah.
Your story, your career, your life, everything you've gone through and everything you're going to be doing is a fucking blessing. And truly, in my eyes, in my mind, I know that anything that you want, you're going to get it. And I can honestly say, on behalf of Joe and myself, I'm truly fortunate that we're able to know you and that we're able to really get deep into the form that makes Jaylien's function, John or Jaylien Wesley's function,
whatever
so
you
beautiful.
Call me.
Shit, I want to call you Jay, dog. That's just my song right now. But on some trill shit, like, it's truly a blessing and an honor.
Absolutely.
And you have one of the most beautiful beings that I have ever come across. It's crazy when you think about it, because I truly believe that I know an artist will win when the world wants to see them win. Yeah. And you not only have the pedigree to prove that and the ability to satisfy that and push beyond anybody's wildest expectations, but you have a being and an aura that anybody that really comes across you wants to help.
Yeah.
Right? And being as talented as you are, I know goddamn well those people that want to help are of that magnitude.
Yeah.
Like the elevator in the SLS in front of where you used to sleep behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's lit.
My brother, it's a blessing. And Joe, what we got to say to him? Mama, we made it!
Hey.